talk fuzzy, get dizzy. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. If you make any sort of connection upon the five senses with a fuzzy, you get dizzy.
Any of the five senses. What about the sixth sense? What if I have like a psychic connection to a fuzzy? If
you sit down and bust out your DVD copy of The Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Featuring Haley Joel Osment.
Which I keep in my bag.
All the fuzzies are
I use like a Ouija board. Is that weird?
To play the DVD or?
No. I just like there's enough letters on the back of it that I can usually kind of spell out most stuff.
Okay. And there's a hole in the middle of the DVD.
Exactly. So you just move the DVD around and it's just like, who murdered?
Should I watch it again? It's yes.
Yes.
You were moving it. You were totally moving it.
And then it tells you to watch the full screen version this time, just in case. Like, flip it over and watch that one. Maybe you'll get a different.
Watch it with director's commentary.
No. Who would do that?
Don't you want to know what Knight wants to say about this movie?
No.
Did you know the kid could see dead people?
Did you know that?
You think that's like the first sentence of the director's commentary?
Yeah. Hey, welcome.
Like, hey, what's up? Did you know? You should watch this movie with this in mind. The kid can see dead people. Like, like not to spoil it, but you're probably not watching this for the first time with the director's commentary. So let me tell you now, to point out all the spots. In case you are,
and we talk over the part where they reveal that, I just want you to know.
Also, if you see the color red, that means something.
And it's like every time it's going
to mean something.
It's just going to whisper, that guy's dead. Like every time.
Dead. He's dead right now, and he's going to be dead later.
Dead. Yeah. They have a counter on screen. Like, that guy's dead.
Yep.
Ding. That guy's dead.
Dead people.
Ding. Oh, that'd
like
be
a pop-up video kind of thing,
Is that movie good? I never saw that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. The guy's
good
dead.
once.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's even good. Like, there's some...
The kid that plays Sora is in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember when he gets locked in the closet at the party?
Oh, that was scary,
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
I wrote an 18-part song about that.
The kid from Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, the kid from Kingdom Hearts getting locked in a closet. You want to hear it?
Yes, please. All 18 parts.
All right. Locked in a closet. Simple and clean.
Didn't that debut on
that's part 1 through 7. It's like Shenmue
Spike
rules.
TV or something. Didn't like the middle chunk of Trapped in the Closet air exclusively on like Spike?
It's probably, which is why it had to be censored and all the piss was taken out.
I want to say part of it was animated. Am I imagining that?
No.
I swear, like parts 20 through something were animated.
You're thinking of Trapped in the Anima Closet.
It could be part of it.
It's a totally different thing. Hi, welcome to the Giant Bombcast.
Hey. Thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks for the invite.
Be on the show.
Jason, welcome to be welcomed.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I'm Jeff Gerstmann. Brad Shoemaker is on assignment.
He's welcome.
Yeah.
He's welcome to be on assignment.
That's right. Maybe we'll see him on the State of Play. I don't know. Like,
God, I hope so.
If they're going to do part of that live, maybe he'll just be in the background.
Yeah.
Brad Shoemaker, Sony super fan.
Yeah, like he accidentally signed the wrong NDA, and it's like, oh shit, I accidentally signed away my likeness rights. No,
we got to get Brad out of the pit.
Jason A. Striker's here. Hello.
Yes. Hello. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fantastic as well.
Great. Cool. Fantastic.
Well, he said he was good.
Yeah.
You can't say fantastic as well.
No, I got to one-up him every time. I'm fucking great.
Ben Pack, how are you doing?
I'm the best I've ever been. I'm the best I've ever. I'm the number one best. Most excited. Take that, Jason.
Damn it.
Shit.
Banger.
Jan, what do you got?
I can't.
I mean, I can't leave you out.
Woo.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I had to hold back.
Yeah.
Because we're all in the same room. Mm-hmm. Normally I have like a concrete wall dividing us. Yeah. And I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs.
Normally you were doing more of a ooh kind of thing. Yeah.
You guys only catch the tail end that sounds like a
woo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part that like resonates through the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That breaks the gate.
Coffee on my
you get a really aggressive gate.
Yep.
Yeah. Everyone loves an aggressive gate. Here at the Giant Bombcast, gosh, what's going on?
I don't know, dude. I'm playing. There's a bunch of video games that have been out lately.
There's a bunch of video games.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
all right.
season.
What else is going on?
Hey
there, Delilah. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You watching any movies?
The Emmys happened.
The Emmys happened.
I hear that Fleabag show is good.
I don't know anything. They
I've heard
really like Miss Maisel.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what that is.
It's a good show.
I've never
That's an
watched
Amazon
it.
show, right?
And I want to watch Between Two Ferns, the movie.
There we go.
Yes.
I also want to watch Between Two Ferns.
But I'm unsure if I am willing to watch. Well, so like I'm like, am I gonna fucking sign up for Netflix again to watch one thing and then cancel? Like I don't know.
You can get a free month probably somehow.
Yeah, that's.
You just go to.
I have enough email addresses at this point. I don't know. I want to see that. I hear it's good. It seems like it would be good.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's involved, I'm a big fan of. So, of course,
of course. And that's what's going on. That's your media
minute.
watch. Thanks to everybody for tuning into the media. Also, Doomers Zoomers, real big in the media right now.
Yeah, these kids have nothing to lose.
Exactly, everything to gain.
gain.
Exactly. That's why they're robbing banks.
We're only like a couple steps away.
That's late cap.
Right. That's when the real, like, the Joker comes out for real. Like, not the movie. I'm talking about the guy, the Joker.
Someone finally decides, like, no, it's me.
No, I'm going to do the whole Joker thing. Imagine how hard that would be to, like, launch that. There'd just be so many people being like, no, you're just trying to do it like
no,
that.
you're doing
That's too much effort at this point. Just, like, start a credit card scheme now.
Right.
Yeah.
Set up a call farm, like, sell Bitcoin, whatever scam you're into, you know, you can just...
You owe the IRS like $25,000 worth of Starbucks gift cards or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Easy scams.
Or like, what's the so the TVs out in front of the building here are often showing like things from around the company.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so there's like one channel that's tuned to the local CBS affiliate. Actually, I see a lot of CNN on there, honestly. I think people like after hours
Well,
just like,
fuck it. Yeah, you know,
break room, I
it's
see
like
CNN.
Once you're in the lounge, you're safe from your corporate
But like, so the couple of times that I have escaped the building to get lunch, I always come back and like the center middle TV is always showing a news story that's like 22 Texas towns ransomware hacked.
Yeah.
Like they're all locked down, held ransom by ransomware.
The Joker's out there
These
already.
22 Texas towns are fucked. And
Actually, that's
I
more
just-
like Riddler bullshit.
yeah. And I just walk past every time and go, man, the world, right? That's all I can think. I look at it and go like, these modern times.
And then you see Jeff Bakalar right next to that TV playing baseball or something.
Yeah, yes. And there's Jeff Bakalar with like
It's even more like of an apocalypse.
treadmill.
he's just like, there's like kickstand on this fridge. I don't know. Like,
Actually,
and it's made out of a hockey stick.
that sounds okay. Imagine you got like I'm just thinking about dealing with like vegetable drawers at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
And how hard it is to maneuver the stuff around. If I could just like push my fridge back at an angle and mix them around, get the stuff at the bottom up on
Why
the
not?
top so it's not as all seepy and squishy and gooey.
Sure.
That's why you just make a soup out of all that at the end of the week.
I need to get on your level.
I want a refrigerator.
Go on.
You should get one.
Yeah, I want to keep things cold.
It's an ad.
Right? And that's why I'm going to use. I want a refrigerator that if I open all these vegetable drawers, or as I like to call them, the drawers where the Diet Pepsi goes, I want if I decide to close the fridge door and those drawers are not closed yet, just close them. Just close them.
Yeah.
Just have something in there that's going to push them back for
I got
me.
that. I got a nice. It has like a rounded inside part that just naturally pushes it, and then on each side of the door, it's a.
But like you have to force it, right? I want something that's like if you're clearly trying to close the door, I want those drawers to be like, oh shit, my bad.
You should just lube
it's
up
not your fault for
lube
forgetting
up those drawers.
Let me just crisp that Diet Coke for you.
Get some WD-40 up in those drawers, and they'll slide in and out with no problem.
Yeah, why isn't fridge drawer technology caught up to basic drawer technology of like ball bearings getting in and out? That's why I need to know.
Because it's expensive.
What about a button on the side of the door that you can press, and the drawers will automatically retract?
Lube would get too cold to work.
I mean, unless if it's bad lube.
Yeah,
You don't
Good
want
lube.
bad
Whatever
lube in
temperature,
there.
you're good.
Okay.
fridge.
All right. You want like a antifreeze, you want a cold lube tech.
Yeah, WD-40 probably is good for that, right?
I don't
Yeah,
like cold lube,
I don't know. Usually it's like a warming effect.
room temperatures.
Well, first it ices, and then
flavor.
it heats up to melt away the pain.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
That's how it goes, right? I haven't watched Price is Right in a while, so I haven't seen icy hot commercials.
You should stand in the lobby about 10 a.m. every morning. They're showing it out there. I guarantee it. Well, it's over now.
Doing it tomorrow.
I used to stay home from school a lot
Yeah.
and
Watch
watch
the
me
Bozzo
some
show?
Price is Right.
Hell yeah.
I would watch that
Yeah.
and the Bozzo show.
We didn't get the Bozo stuff until late. You know,
it was a Chicago
It was a
affiliate.
Chicago thing. Yeah. And I don't know that it. Well, we didn't get WGN,
That's what
which was
Bozzo
like
was on.
Yeah, it was like a superstation,
Yep.
but we didn't get it on our cable system until
Man, you missed out.
years
You
later.
missed out on all those bucket tosses and the shiny Schwinn bicycles.
Yeah, nice shiny swim.
Is Bozzo basically like, I didn't have it, have no reference. Is it basically what Krusty is? Like kind of like a clown variety show?
But less murderous.
Well,
Yeah,
sure,
like-
like less murderous,
yes.
but still kind of a weird tone maybe to it. If you
It's only a
It's a
weird
variety
tone if
show.
you're looking for a weird tone
Yeah.
because it's a clown or
Yeah.
you're stoned.
okay.
Yeah.
Or you're just like a bored dad watching this thing.
Yeah, and you're like, this is a nightmare. Do the other kids watch this? I've been checking out some of kids' YouTube.
Oh shit!
Here and there, and some of that stuff.
You watching some Blippi?
No, not yet.
Man, I can talk to you about some.
What about some hi-ho?
That might be a little too advanced for where I'm at.
I don't know about any like weird dentistry
give it a year.
videos. Like Elsa does dentistry on Pac-Man. Watching any of those?
Yeah, that's all my favorite kids' videos are involve dentistry.
I mean, that's
I know, there's
type dentistry into your app store search on your phone and see what pops up and be horrified.
Dentistry apps, like a home dentistry,
like a game, like doing dentistry on Elsa's mouth.
Right. Oh, you
I
mean,
don't know why I keep going back
that's
to
not
Elsa.
that's not in the app store. Those are web. Those are in browsers, right?
You'd be. Hold on.
I feel like that's okay. You're going to check the iOS. Apple
I'm just going to type dentistry into the iOS app.
That sounds like something that would be on Google Play. That sounds like when you sign up for the Google Play Pass.
Or it's going to like link to like some smart toothbrush to like track where you're brushing.
Yeah.
The first auto result is dentist games, so I'm just going to click that.
Yes, dentist games.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Big Jaws action.
Look
These
at
are just pictures of like
Those
cartoon
grills
kids
are
with,
messed up.
with Jaws teeth.
How about that?
It's a funky grill.
But I will also say none of them are Disney princesses.
I'm going to type in. Well, I mean, they're probably pretty litigious about that. But
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying all the good Elsa ones are web games, or they're all in browser because it's like you need to get this Disney princess pregnant by clicking this button because that's how it works now.
it's that easy.
Yeah.
Here's one where you can do it to a football player. There's one where you can do it
Always
to a
wanted to do it to a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
This is called.
And it's Halloween's coming up, so there's never been a better time to do it to a Frankenstein, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, I've scrolled down far enough where I've gotten to the good shit. This
Or
is
Frankenstein's monster, honestly.
Yeah, the doctor or the creature.
the doctor or the creature.
Or
They both make a similar noise.
who's that little humpback motherfucker?
Quasimodo?
No,
Igor.
Igor. I'll do it to Igor too. He needs it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have health care. Celebrity shave hair salon. There's 3 pictures. Do you want to?
I'm sorry, did you say celebrity shave salon?
Celebrity shave hair salon. Do you want to just venture
Shave,
a
shampoo,
guess?
or kill?
Jeremy
couple
Renner.
guesses about the 3 celebs featured? No.
Okay.
Think TV. Okay, one's a TV star, one's a popular film franchise actor, and the other's another TV star, but he's the most minor of the 3.
Okay.
Who has famous like floppy hair? He was a child actor
Macaulay
hair.
Culkin.
across 7 movies. 8 movies? 8 movies.
Frankie Muniz.
Maybe 10 at this point. I don't know the
Oh my
expanded
goodness.
I was going to
universe.
say Conan O'Brien, but he's not a child
Daniel,
actor.
Daniel
He's still a child.
Radcliffe.
Okay. All right.
You can cut
okay.
Harry Potter's hair in this app, and it's free. I'm just gonna go ahead.
Do they just say Harry Potter? They do that?
Well,
do they say that in there? Does it say that in the app?
I'm reading.
Are these part of Apple Arcade?
No, because they let you play your own audio.
Oh,
when you're
fantastic.
playing the
That's
game.
awesome.
Got him.
Got him.
All right. Let's talk about it. Video games. They're here. They're not going nowhere.
Download.
Yeah. Apple Arcade. We're coming up on a weekend on that thing being out, and
I'm still waiting.
yeah, it hasn't come to Android yet. Weird.
Yep.
Well, you get your own. There's the Google Play Pass, sounds like a similar concept,
I'm sure the quality is just as good.
but with somehow even worse business terms.
No, but also it's not on all like Apple platforms yet.
Right.
Right,
It's
that's
not
true.
on TV.
Yeah, well, so I think as of today, because 13.1 came out today for iPad and TV and Apple TVs.
So baffled.
So I think that is the thing that is supposed to make it work, because I can play them on my on my iPad. We were playing them on the iPad on the show last week.
Yeah.
And I think that should be the thing that allows it to roll out on Apple TVs.
Okay.
So what is Apple Arcade?
Apple Arcade's $5 a month subscription service for a bunch of games.
Right.
And it's generally, well, not generally, it is. These are games that don't have microtransactions. So there are a lot of games that kind of got left by the wayside by the way mobile games are monetized these days.
Oh, sure.
All the free to play stuff and monetization that goes into it. This doesn't have that.
Sure.
So it's a lot of games that are built to just be kind of self-contained, and that's kind of cool.
Like an actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And like a lot of actual games, you can't listen to your own music while you play them, which I discovered as I dug more into. It's not all of them. So at first, it was so many of them. So Grindstone's a good example because it's the one I've been
popular,
playing the most of. is like, man, it'd be great to listen to the podcast I was just listening to while playing this.
Yep.
And it just pauses the podcast. And then you can drag down the control center and say, no, fuck you, play the podcast, which in a lot of other games, that works.
Yes.
In that Konami Picross game, you can do that. You can say, no, don't kill the audio, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Play this fucking podcast and get it going again. This one, you start the podcast and then you swipe the control center away and it immediately stops it again.
Yep.
And you're just like, fucking, I can't.
It's a terrible oversight. Like I've had all my years of playing iPhone games.
In all my years,
I've had like
you're
2
gonna bang
games.
a shoe on the table.
No, but I mean seriously, like I've only had 2 games that this has ever been a problem with. Like 2 games that I wish I could play, but it would like for whatever reason constantly override the audio of the game. One of them is Flappy Fighter. Shout outs to Flappy Fighter.
Well, that you need your full focus anyway.
I guess, but in some of these games, like I understand it. Like for Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yeah,
you can't play that game
it's a music,
without the
right?
audio.
It's a rhythm game, practically. It's-
But like Grindstone,
Yeah.
it's a puzzle slidey bejeweled.
What about the developer's original intent?
No, and that's like a weird thing. I think there's like value in that to an
Sure.
extent, but also when you consider
I value
when you
that.
consider the platform, at some point it's just like no, like this is not like this
I get
game.
it.
This game doesn't fit into my life anymore.
I get it.
Because I'm not able to give it my full attention.
The
And
iPhone is supposed to be a multi-purpose tool. Like it's not just a gaming platform. Like if the Switch, if you have a game there, like sure you listen to other audio or whatever.
Like on the PS4, you can play Spotify over anything.
Yeah.
It'll let you do it.
Yeah.
So even in Xbox, similar situation. Like that stuff exists out there on consoles. But like I feel like the expectation on phones is dramatically different even from that, where that's like allowable. But I don't know that. I wonder how many people actually do it.
The thing is, like, this sounds like a thing to get that you can randomly get hung up on if you're not somebody who listens to a lot of podcasts or something. I am, and I would. My point is like the quality of these games is so high that I wish I could be playing them more often than I am because of this problem that is stopping me from doing so.
It's a weird thing where it's like there's a lot of quality there, but not so much that I'm going to devote my full attention to it. Because I'm still playing a game on my phone, and it's still something I'm doing in very short bursts between other things while I have something else playing and all that other stuff.
I'm on the train for almost an hour every day. Like I'm gonna listen to something. Like I'm not just doing this randomly here and there. It's such a
Multitask or
random.
die. I get you.
It's such a random little thing that you think like this is obviously a big deal for Apple. It was all over the store. It was a big push to get people on 13.
Well, it made me wonder if it was something that was like mandated as like if you're an Apple Arcade game, we are trying to make these seem like prestige projects, and as such, but like not every game does that. So it doesn't seem like that's a mandate. And so that makes it even stranger that these games do that.
It makes me wonder if like a lot of these developers are coming from strictly like PC or console.
Some are. I mean,
backgrounds.
like Cappy did Grindstone.
Because Card of Darkness,
they've done,
which Zach Gage, who's made like a shit ton of great iOS games, like that lets you play your podcast or music over the
and he responded to a Twitter thread that I like when I was complaining about this the other night, going like, man, this like kind of sucks. Like it's not a deal breaker, but it's kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah.
He responded and said, oh, actually it's like, it's kind of like 5 lines of code, at least on, but maybe not on Unreal or Unity or wherever. If these other developers are coming from other things, like, he wasn't saying like, hey, it's easy, you fucks. Like he was not doing that, but he said like it was not too hard to integrate that API, basically,
right?
In his game specifically,
yeah.
And he did. So it's not something that Apple seems to be forcing on people, but maybe it is a case where some of these developers don't necessarily make a ton of mobile games, but others do. Like a lot of these are mobile first developers and all that other stuff, and it's weird. It's weird.
So what have you been playing on there so far?
Just Grindstone lately, because I have been holding off because we're going to stream stuff, and there's some stuff that I want to play with a controller, like Punch Planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Which is on there, and I was looking at it going
That
like,
game's so good.
This looks like a fighting game. I want to play this with a controller, and I'm going to hold off on playing it until I have time to sit down with my phone and a controller, and that has not happened in the last week. So yeah, we're gonna run a stream of that stuff, and it looks like there's just a lot of like really high quality games there.
Super great stuff.
But I'm having a weird time. I'm having like a weird. It's like I'm having trouble fitting them into my life right now. In terms of just like, I got my phone here. I'm gonna bust it out. I got time while I'm
Feeding a
pooping or feeding a baby or whatever. Actually, She will not take a bottle right now.
God.
It is a fucking thing,
Damn
man.
it.
We have a mountain of bottles. A mountain of goddamn bottles. None of them work.
Damn it.
Yeah,
all about the nipple.
I really like
No, it is,
Grindstone.
man.
I think Grindstone's super cool. Like it's a the idea of it is not new. It is
It's like a dungeon raid-ish sort of.
But like, yeah, I mean, even like what you're doing is like fucking phone games 101. You're like
Absolutely.
lining up like symbols.
Yeah.
But they start introducing these little changes of like, okay, here's enemies that attack. Here are these like you need to build up a certain combo to break these things, which give you other things. And then there's like a whole crafting layer on top of it. It's really like these games are getting me excited back when there was that kind of that sweet spot in phone games that was like
initial gold rush.
Yeah,
totally.
Right before everything was free, but after everything was like, Snake.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like games where like 100 million or just like Puzzle Quest.
Yeah.
These quote unquote, like when you remove the bounds of how do we make this a sustainable business model instead of a video game,
Right.
It shows what you can do with like, okay, here are some mechanics, here's some other stuff, like just to keep people interested. I just hope that it is it's weird because the sustainability thing has now shifted to Apple.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And like they're like how much they're paying developers, how much they're willing to promote certain things. Like it kind of shifts it to a third party, which makes it a little harder
weird,
to tell
yeah.
what's going on and
Definitely.
what's successful and all that.
and how long will they stick with it? And if the deals weren't great out of the gate, do they only get worse over time? Or
Right.
like as the service evolves, what changes? Do they start charging more for it at some point? To
And like it's a
maintain
free
the
month
level of
now,
quality,
but
or-
then
yeah.
there's probably going to be a huge drop off after that free month expires, and then what does that mean for the?
Well, I mean, Apple is big on services right now, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're launching their TV thing. They did music a while ago. Then now they got games. They've clearly pushed in that direction. And I don't see them getting out of it.
No.
So, I think that they'll just keep pushing on it. And I think it's like a cool service. I just that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I wish I had like actual like terms or something in front of me that I could like kind of judge, because instead it's just kind of like rumblings around the edges from people who got pitched by Apple on Apple Arcade. And the rumblings are just like, actually their terms were not good. And so, but you don't know if that's every single pitch was bad terms. Did some people get sweetheart deals that like got them, and they're just like, fuck it, this is great.
Yeah, some of the exclusives, sure.
And there, there's some other situations out there where like, was it GamesIndustry.biz, I think, ran an article today about another service that's trying to do, and everyone's pitching like the Spotify of games,
Sure.
and in different formats. And, there was one out there that was just like, they had no talking points about how devs get paid and stuff like that. And it was like, and someone who had taken that pitch was just like, this is like
Garbage.
This seems like a sham,
Yeah.
But then it was the from No More Robots, the Hyperspace Outlaw publisher, saying like, actually Descenders, that downhill biking game, is on Game Pass, and that's done really well. So like, it sounds like Microsoft is doing well with paying devs for Game Pass games, in at least some cases. We can't even say that as a blanket thing.
Yeah, right. I mean, like you want to be a conscious consumer, like a lot of people want to put their money towards.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to be a conscious consumer,
but those of us who do,
yeah,
like
it's a shame that people like kind of need to be in this day and age.
Yeah.
But like we're at that point, right? And but at the same time, like it's Apple Arcade seems like a great deal, a too good to be true deal in some cases, of just like, man, if you like playing indie games and stuff like Overland's on there, like all the stuff that's, like even if you just signed up for a month and played the handful of games that were on other platforms with a controller, running it like a Switch would, at least, if not better than, Hot Lava's on there, the Clay's new game, that's on Steam for $15 or something like that. I don't know that I like that game very much at all, but it's on there. And so it's this weird mishmash of like, there's a new Shantae game on there, for fuck's sake.
Oh, really?
Like
I didn't
Shantae
even
5 is
see that.
fucking debuted on fucking iPhone. Crazy. Right?
How are they about like surfacing, new games and like curating, the existing ones?
It's hard to say, because we're looking at the launch lineup, and then if you scroll down to the bottom of the arcade thing and just say see all, it'll show you like, initially it just said released in September, and it was here's every game.
Okay.
And then there's been some that have been updated or patched, or those dates have changed since, and it'll say like release September 23rd, release that. So it's like there seems like there's a place for them to say, here are the new releases, but it's all the way at the very bottom. The rest of it's curated in terms of like they've got carousels and stuff, not entirely unlike our homepage, where they've got like top slots and where they can kind of promote stuff or promote their articles about the games. Like, hey, here's some tips to play this game better.
Okay. And here's like a collection of, the games that sound good.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. There are a handful of different ways to kind of curate and collect those games. None of them seem great. And I feel like every view, like sometimes I just want a fat list, and even the fat list has like, it's got to be fair, it's got a video in every single thing that you scroll through, so you can hit play on it right there. Right. But sometimes I just want a fat list.
Yeah, this would take forever to scroll through.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it now.
And like I guess that's a good problem to have, right? Like they have so many fucking games at launch that it takes forever to scroll through.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they have like a video clip that accompanies. Each like the thumbnails or whatever, but
and like the barrier to entry is low enough that you'd like, well, whatever. if I'm looking at this, odds are I'm part of this service, so I'm just gonna get it and see what it's all about.
They got categories, platformer role.
I have the category stuff. The breakdown of it's kind of sparse.
Yeah, it's weird.
A little weird.
Yeah.
Some of it doesn't feel completely indicative of all the games.
So I think like the front end experience of like finding and selecting games, I think could be better. But I would say that about the entirety of the App Store. Like they've had a games tab in the App Store for a long time.
This feels very much like a smaller version of the App Store,
and that's not always great either. But it's like the same type deal. Like they have a team of people that are writing articles about games in the App Store and stuff like that. And I think that's a neat idea, but I just don't think that the way that they're surfacing any of that is as clean or as user friendly as maybe.
I need my handheld a little bit. I need to know what's popular. I guess I would love to have. I
guess do they totally deprecate the charts? Like the App Store used to just be like, here's a fat list of charts, which was abused, and they
that's the downside to it.
Anyway, I think Apple Arcade is worth a look for sure.
What the Golf on there?
What the Golf
is really good. It gives me vibes of Donut County. It's quite the banger. It kind of does a lot of shifting of perspectives on you. It winds up being more than a golf game. I kind of liken it to it being like the WarioWare of golf. Yeah. Each course has like 2 different variations on top of the initial one. And the writing in it is actually pretty clever. Like if you hit par, it'll be perfect, and a bunch of other neat stuff that isn't as doesn't make you groan as much as other recent releases.
Look, I like to groan. What can I say? And then that game is coming to Switch and to PC as well.
If you want to see a demo for it, I guess you could treat that Apple Arcade,
or you could just play the whole thing and not pay for it on the other platforms. I mean, that's kind of the thing here is.
And you said that you haven't tinkered.
It's the game.
You haven't tinkered much with controllers on there yet.
I mean, I have. I played a lot of Exit the Gungeon both ways, and determined that I would rather play it with a touchscreen just because the slow motion stuff that it's like they super handhold you.
Yeah.
And like it shoots for you if you have a touch screen because it aims and fires automatically. And then without that, it becomes a full-on dual joystick side-scrolling shooter, and that's cool as fuck. But it's hard. Like doing all the dodge rolls while also
for that.
Well, you wonder. I mean, like I guess every dev's going to have a different story, but I wonder if this was a game that they were just developing for whatever platform, and then like Apple saw it and said like, "Hey, why don't you do it for us first, or for us forever, or whatever." And I wonder because it sounds like that a lot of Apple's exclusivity stuff is around the idea of not being on Android, as opposed to like when they say exclusive, it's not that it's not anywhere, it's that it's not on other devices.
That's who they're considering competition.
And I guess it seems like maybe it is softly coming to other platforms at some point. I'm just quickly Googling Exit the Gungeon and not seeing like a list of platforms like I did for What the Golf. But
before we wrap up Apple Arcade, I've got a couple games to shout out from it.
Yeah.
The new Choo Choo Rocket.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's got, the main hook of it is a like puzzle mode rather than the old Dreamcast multiplayer game.
But they've done something similar to that. Like that type of puzzle mode before. So like if anything, it's just kind of like, hey, they made the single player mode
but then it does have the multiplayer. Straight up, you can like share a room code and get 3 of your friends in to play it. And it's like the old Choo Rocket.
Yeah.
Great game if you've never seen it.
I got stuck on that same puzzle we were stuck on during UPF, and I wasn't there when we finally solved it. So I wound up going back to the UPF to figure out the solution.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the last one, and this isn't just an Apple Arcade exclusive, but I've been playing through Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah.
Anyone
good
else
stuff.
Yeah.
playing that?
Totally.
I hear good stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been waiting until I have a bunch of time because I kind of want to play it in one chunk.
Yes.
Because I played 3
Donut
or
County.
4 levels. Yeah, I played Donut County all at once. Yeah, but I played 3 or 4 levels of this game back before a little bit before E3, and sat down and played I think it was probably like the first 4 levels somewhere around there, and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome.
Yes. It's definitely one of those games plot out like a good, I don't know, I've heard 1 to 2 hours.
They talk about it like it's an album, basically,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's other modes and stuff you unlock when you beat it, but whatever. This is a perfect lights off, headphones on, get wrapped up in this phone game because it's all about its visual style, the music, it's just so fucking cool.
I wound up not liking the touch controls though.
Yeah, I don't love it. I
played it on Switch, and having played that there, the touch controls don't sound like they'd be the ideal way to play.
Were you two thumbing it?
I was not two thumbing it. I didn't think of that as a solution, but I was having some problems where I would need to go super hard into a direction. I'd be missing a lot of prompts.
So basically, the game is it's kind of hard to explain.
Space Channel 5.
You're occasionally swiping directions, and you're occasionally tapping, right?
Imagine if AudioSurf. No, imagine if AudioSurf had a story mode.
Oh, that's a better comparison.
Imagine if AudioSurf was about this space goddess that got broken up with and has to fight a motorcycle gang.
Tarot cards.
That'll tell.
Astrology. Yeah. Like Blade Runner, but for astrology.
But you basically are.
Oh, so Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wait. Yeah.
Like synthwave, electronic music.
Yeah, very poppy, synthy. Yeah. But you're kind of just maneuvering a character along these tracks, and occasionally there's sort of quick time events to dodge a bullet or something. But
but then generally you're kind of swerving to collect hearts, right?
Yes. It's a score based game. You get bronze, silver, gold medals at the end.
I think that's why people are talking about finishing the game and unlocking the other mode that kind of just it throws it all together, right? I think it eliminates all the score checks and all that stuff. It's just hey, just experience this thing.
I kind of wish that was available right out the gate.
It almost sounds like the traveling mode in Res, where it's just it turns off score and fail state, and it's just fucking go.
Or Tetris Effect with the chained together stuff. But yeah, that game's really cool. If you have Apple Arcade, there's no excuse not to at least.
And then that's on PC and Switch.
But then
now,
it's also on Steam. I want to say and Switch.
I thought it was,
or is it Epic?
But I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Epic.
Yeah, I think it's Epic.
But I think minus the not perfect touch controls, which is mitigated kind of by the fact that at most it's rolling you back a few seconds.
Yeah. It's not a major setback where it's making you fail and retry the whole level. It's at most 2 seconds.
And in fact, there's a thing where if I was trying to go for the same really hard bonus gem, and I was just dying over and over, and it was fairy godmother floated down. I was like, hey, do you want to skip this level? So it has stuff in there. If you are just there to kind of experience the story and don't think you can hang with the gameplay or whatever, you can just be yeah, sure. I want to see what else happens.
Yeah, that thing's really neat.
One more thing for me that I've seen on the Apple Arcade is Overlands.
Yeah, Overland.
Man, that game is super fucking brutal.
Yeah, yes. That thing's been. They were selling the PC version of it, but in Windows, it would be hey, we're gonna open up sales of this game for this chunk of time, this number of copies, and then we're closing it off again. Now, I think it's available just early access on Steam, and whatever. But yeah, Overland, it's
it's a run-based tactical survival game.
Yeah. XCOM-ish in some ways, would you say?
I'd say
I've seen people use that to describe it, and I don't know.
I'd say in terms of how brutal the AI and the situations you're placed into. So the whole plot of the game is you start out as a character and you're trying to get from the East Coast to the West Coast. And there's...
Okay, hang on. I've heard this before. Do you have to stack a bunch of shit on your back and then throw it on a bunch of ladders?
Well, You do pick up gas cans, and you do come across random people. I haven't seen blood being used as weapons yet.
Okay, all right.
What happens when you go number 1?
You die.
What?
You
No
die.
mushroom comes out?
No mushroom comes out. But it's super fucking brutal because you'll recruit each portion of the like United States is broken down into chapters, and there's like maybe 5 or so chapters there, and then you need to like siphon or be conscious of how much gas you're using to get to each different branching path.
So we're gonna trail.
Yeah,
It's pretty,
You need enough oxen. You need yokes. You need enough wagon tongues.
Yeah, and each person you come across, you could recruit like a random person or a dog. Sometimes it's all random, depending on each run you do. But God, every time it's either there's no win-win situation or win-lose situation for the most part. Everything, because I guess it's a post-apocalyptic universe, has felt lose-lose.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm gonna send this guy to get gas, but he's probably going to get hurt, and then he's probably going to die on me. But then at least he can give me more gas, so everyone else can just dip out. And I felt really bad for leaving people behind. But it's rewarding when it works. But most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's just like been beating me over and over again.
Oh yeah.
And I guess since it's a run-based game, you can kind of just restart.
Yeah.
But it's, God, I lost like a good 30-40 minutes into like a really good run almost to finish a chapter, only for like a bunch of bullshit to happen that I could not come back from.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. The dog was not able to wield the knife properly or to drive the car, turns out.
I've been trying to get dogs to do that for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
They suck.
Cats can drive cars.
Yeah,
Dogs
totally.
are fucked.
Yeah.
And geese can wield knives.
Yeah. What about
Parakeets.
what about the geese? What about these video game geese? Anyone been checking out?
I checked it out.
They looked at it out in New York for the Untitled Goose game, which is on Switch and PC.
Yes.
I watched the trailer again when I was trying to convince myself whether I should play that or something else.
Yeah. And the trailer didn't work on you?
I know it did. It's very, very enjoyable
Yeah.
and fun, and I'm going to play that game eventually. But
Yeah, I think I'm in the boat of just like 1,000 games came out
Yeah.
in that 2-day period. And
I think I'm going to donut county it, which means at some point I will lock myself in a room and play the Goose game as much as I can.
That's where I'm at with it as well.
When I was playing it, I felt a weird form of like being super tense, even though I'm a goose, and there's like,
Well, they're wound up all the time.
Yeah.
but then like it's kind of stealthy, and that you have to. It's like a Rube Goldberg where you have to make a bunch of stuff kind of happen in a sequence of events, but it's freeform enough where you can kind of just fuck around and do whatever to accomplish the tasks. So you're a goose, and
You're a goose.
you're a goose. In each of these levels, you have a set amount of objectives to complete, and some of that just ranges from bother the farmer, get him to put his sun hat on, or to just have a picnic.
Yep.
And it's freeform enough where you can kind of accomplish all of this in whatever order you want to do and however you want to do. But yeah, it's
Do they give you those objectives right off the gate, or like after they happen?
right out the gate.
Okay.
So you can kind of piece together and like squawk out the territory of like, okay, all right, that's over there. This is over here. I'm going to make this happen to get that to happen. And it's been neat, but it's just, there's like zero stakes in terms of like, you're not going to die, right?
Yeah, no, they're not going to kill the goose.
They're not going to kill the
they
goose.
like chase it off, kind of, right?
The goose will
farmer.
not be cooked in this game. But I just feel super tense the whole time of like, I'm freaking watching a corner waiting for this farmer to go. I'll squawk, then I'll strategically drop a pumpkin, and then I'll grab his keys and then his thermos. But then I realize, oh shit, I got to get that apple too.
Oh man. Is it timed at all, or
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, that's good.
So it's super chill.
Yeah.
But like, I just wind up imposing my own stress into this game.
Would you feel better or worse if the game had a fail state that just was like said like game over, your goose is cooked, and literally showed like a cooked goose on a platter or something like that?
It made it look delicious as hell.
Hell yeah. And add like a timer of like Metal Gear Solid of my alertness meter of like how I'm too goosing. I'm goosing too much.
Yeah. You goose and cool.
Yeah.
Goosey.
Yeah.
Loosey goosey.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really clever. It's watching the trailer, I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's exactly this, and I want to play this at some point, and maybe this week I'll get to it. I don't know.
It's one of those things where like the trailer shows you everything you need to know, and then as soon as the game came out, and you hear people like, "Yep, the trailer didn't lie."
Yeah,
it was like, great, okay,
it is precisely that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
good to know.
Wonderful.
When the goose is running and you're bending over, he kind of looks like he's doing a Naruto run. Just need to add that.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. Link's Awakening came out on Friday.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Pretty stuttery. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck. Yeah. No, that's been the complaint. I feel like the two complaints I've seen are frame rate, and some people seem uncool with the price. With it being a full-priced project.
Yeah, I did wince at that.
Getting kind of hung up on the idea of like this was a Game Boy game, but it's not a short game.
It is not a short game. It is completely.
They've done a ton of
redone
work
visuals.
It's as someone who never finished Link's Awakening, I don't necessarily feel that it's a bad value proposition. I guess
I think it could be, as somebody who's finished Link's Awakening 20 times.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit of a better value proposition, I think. Maybe like a little $40.
Yeah, that specifically has been people, I saw a handful of people saying like, this should have been $40.
A little pill, a little swallow.
Little pill, little swallows.
A little swallow goose eater.
Untitled pill game.
That's
Goose
not a game where anyone wins.
Dr. Mario. I titled it.
Yeah, I've been playing that new Zelda game.
Yeah, we think.
I think it's okay.
Because like you're like a big Link's Awakening person, right?
Yes. As soon as I picked it up, I like knew exactly where to go.
Yeah.
I was just like, here's the route. You go down to the beach, you get the sword. You go up into the forest, you get the mushroom. You give it to the witch. She gives you the powder. You turn the raccoon back into the guy who looks like Mario. Bam, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Flying through it. Okay.
But like, man, that stutter.
Yeah.
I haven't encountered it yet. I've only played a short bit of it, but
it's it pretty much okay. So the weird thing about this game is when it was on Game Boy, I played on the Game Boy Color.
So did you play Link's Awakening DX, the color version?
Yes.
It had a specific color dungeon, right?
Yeah, it had like a little bonus thing. There was a red dungeon and a blue dungeon, and you got like a tunic that made you more powerful.
Yeah. Does this have that?
I don't know. That was like an end game thing.
Okay.
But so that game was a tile game, like the original The Legend of Zelda. You know, it was like you could look at your map, and it was like little squares that led to little squares. When you walked from one square to another, the camera shifted over, and the enemies populated. This is not that. This is an open world, and where you get the most like chug and slow down in my. I've only played through like the first 2 dungeons so far on the Switch version. The parts where it gets chunkiest are out in the open world where there's like you're running from one area with a lot of enemies to another area with a lot of enemies because it's doing the tile set thing of like respawning grass and stuff of where you were. So like if I run to the right 3 squares, quote unquote, like what would be squares in the older game, and I run back over to the left, all the stuff's going to pop back up. And so I think that might be what's causing the slowdown if I had to guess. I don't know. Because it can get, and it's always just for like a little bit. Like as you're kind of shifting from one scene to another, it'll just kind of hitch up a little bit. Like that.
I've seen people say like sometimes like when there's a lot of combat or a lot of enemies on screen,
it might stick a little longer.
Yeah, that's when it becomes a gameplay thing of just like actually now it controls worse because it's dropping from 60 to 30. Like it seems like they've implemented it in like a VSync sort of way of just like it doesn't drop from 60 to 52.
Right.
It crashes down and locks at 30. And then pops back up to 60 when things have calmed down again, which is, some people like it that way. I've never. I'll take tearing over like VSync any day of the week.
I think I'm with you on that front. I haven't gotten to a point yet where that has become that brutal. But like I said, I've just cleared the second dungeon.
Yeah.
But like other than that, it is a faithful ass recreation of that game. Like it looks great.
Yeah, I'd say the art style.
It looks so good in motion. It looks like a diorama or something. It reminds me of not in visual style, but it reminds me a lot of Octopath Traveler, a game that kind of it looked like it was
that type of tilt shift.
You
sort
could
of
like reach in and touch it and like move the things around in it. This feels like it's almost like little figures running around on like a little like a Duplo block set or something.
Right.
It's got kind of that like big blocky vibe. By the way, we got like 4 emails this week asking if Link from Link's Awakening is a Funko Pop.
No. And fuck you.
Too much emotion in the face.
Any emotion in the face.
Yeah.
So, just speaking to the game itself as a game, like it's a fucking really fun Zelda game. It feels like a good blend of Link to the Past and the original Legend of Zelda. Like it is limited somewhat by its controls. I think it's a real bummer that you can't remap the controls at all in this game. So you have kind of like sword on B, or it's like shield
and R, right?
Shield on R, sword on B, A is something, and then X and Y are your 2 items that you get from the dungeons, like a bomb or hook shot or whatever.
And those you remap based on your selection or whatever.
Based on
like how would you want to remap it? That sounds fine. I don't know.
Well, I would actually just like it's purely a me thing, but switching the sword and shield, or switching sword to like Y would be easier for me because my thumb is too long for the Joy-Con, and it's just like it's a fringe case, but that's why you have remappable controls, is for the people who need those fringe cases. It's not unplayable, and it's probably mitigated by a bit if I was playing with a pro controller on the TV or something, but I've only been playing handheld. I also don't know if the frame rate issue is mitigated at all by docking it.
I've heard anecdotally that it is the same both ways. So I don't know.
So that'd be a bummer. But like now this is something that we have to be extra cognizant about with the Switch Lite out there. Like there is no more, just play it on docked mode. Like now there's a whole SKU for this console where you can't do that.
You cannot dock it. And the screen's smaller.
Yeah.
Than mine, we'll get into that. Let's see. Jason, you've been playing some more Borderlands?
Yeah, some more.
You've both been playing
Borderlands.
More Borderlands.
I'm about level 20 or so. I'm still playing both platforms. I've got friends on both. So, about the same place on both of those, and I'm still enjoying it. Yeah, for the most part. I'm actually cheating a little bit on the PC version.
I found that to be a really pleasant way to play Borderlands 2 again.
I'm rewarding myself. Like I haven't unlocked all the skills or anything like that, but I've given myself a bunch of like golden keys. So after a mission or something like that, like I just go in.
Hey, all these drops were garbage. Get me a good one.
Yeah, give me some good stuff.
Nice.
Like after we played the Quick Look, oh man, that was rough. That was the worst time that I've had playing that game for sure. But I went back and I did that. It wasn't you guys.
Play your fucking classics.
I'm sorry.
I played that mission that we failed so miserably at, and walked right through it with like a new group of people.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like, and I ended up with like 3 million gold, and I'm like, shit. I felt like I was cheating for whatever reason because I found a gun that like made it so much easier and so much more pleasant. And that's what actually made me decide to like, fuck it, I'm gonna play this game my way.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the positive stories you hear about Borderlands are from people saying like, I found a gun that broke the game.
It broke the game, and all of a sudden the game was exponentially more fun.
I had so much fun playing when Borderlands, because I initially played Borderlands 1 and 2 on 360. And because that's what they sent out for review. And so prior to release, I fucking must have played 150 hours of Borderlands 1 before it came out.
And you had to redo that.
Similar. No, not really. No, because it was retail. It wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sent out retail. Or it was like unstamped. So it was like a disc that had Borderlands scrawled on it in pen. But it booted in a retail. Anyway. Point being, I played that on a lockdown console sort of situation, whatever. But I found that the most fun I had with Borderlands 1 and 2 was fucking around with it after the fact with like a save game editor. And stuff like that. Because someone released a save game editor for Borderlands 1 that let you basically build guns. Ooh. And so it was mind-blowing to see it because you see how the gun generator works. Because it basically breaks it apart into a series of drop-downs. Which are like, it's got muzzle 3 and it's got this. And each one has a different impact on the weapon you're going to, that's going to come out the other end.
Crazy.
And so I looked at that and you look at it and go, man, if they just, there's a crafting system in the making right here. It could be killer if you could just do limited, like, rip this muzzle off and put this one on, and it does this.
Yeah.
And, like little, just like being able to play with that as an official part of the game would be rad. And then Borderlands 2 came out and didn't do it. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing? But then doing it again in Borderlands 2 and playing around with that and just like, give me all these badass ranks. Give me all this badass rank. After I'd already played the shit out of it on 360, was again, like, it was really fun to just like break the game and play around with the variables that it gives you, or that it doesn't give you, that it plays with but refuses to let you play with.
Right.
And so, yeah, like I kind of wish like I had like there was a minute there. I think if I liked Borderlands 3 more, I would probably buy it on PC and switch over to the PC.
Sure.
Just so I could fuck around with it that way.
Okay.
And in fact, I think if I was going to play any more of it at all, I would probably do that, because like playing it locked down and just like, let's experience this story. Like it's not doing it. Like I hit level 27 and had this moment of just like, I'm still on Eden 6, which is the area we showed in the quick look.
Yep.
And had this moment just like, why am I fucking still playing this?
Really?
Like I'm having
had a
fun
similar
with
moment
this.
myself.
I'm actually having the opposite. Like I'm playing other stuff and going, I could be playing Borderlands right now. So
yeah. Like I
know what you mean.
Sucks,
I've
man.
been
Because
there.
like that was like I played 1 and 2 like obsessively at launch, or pre-launch, like during the review period. Just
Yeah,
like
man.
I was just like, I could not get enough of those games.
I was in college at the time of 2, I think, and it was just so easy to not go to class and play Borderlands. Like, fuck, man.
But 3, like it's a struggle to even play. Yeah, it's just like just like it's been buggy and weird. Like we saw some of that in the quick look, and then I had some other weird bullshit happen when I took it home and played it. There's a quest where you fall around some extreme dude who wants to just jump off stuff all the time, and he does, and in one of them you strap gas tanks to an elevator so that it goes faster, and then he launches off of it and dies, and then you have to revive him. But he died and got stuck like 40 feet in the air. And I just like looking up at him going like, all right,
he's not coming down.
That's why you play the pet
broken.
class. I could just send my pet up there.
The answer ended up being quit and reload the game, and then he spawned on the ground where he belongs. But there's just like a lot of dumb, rough shit like that. I guess they sold 5 million copies. And more on PC than they've ever done. So
hopefully that doesn't go to their fucking head though. Like
I feel like the Borderlands going to the head of the developers happened some time ago.
They've already been, talking about post-launch stuff.
Yeah.
They outlined the first piece of content. I forget the name of it, but
it's a Halloween event or something, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds cool.
I'm in for that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like I'm not having a great time, but I'm not having a bad enough time to stop. It's like my kind of in-between game. It's my game I've been going to when I've been burned out on other things. I like Respect for the first time and was like looking at a guide for my character, and that made it a little more fun, like being able to kind of focus my build a little more. And then I like randomly hopped in to try and do I forget what it's called, the trial,
Proving Ground, and there's a second one.
The other one that's like a random dungeon. Yeah, basically we did on the quick look. It was weird because like we were all rough around the same level, like within a 5 or so level range. But the dude we got queued up with was like almost 20 levels higher than us, and it made it impossible, which is weird because their whole thing about the multiplayer is
like anyone can play with anyone. Yeah.
Even though we don't have crossplay. And then I tried doing that again, and it matched me up with one person. I could only ever get matched up with one person, and the connection was terribly laggy.
Gross.
Just like warping around, which was a bummer because I was like, I want a cheap gun that makes the game easy like Jason has.
Hell yeah. I've been with having like a shit ton of like golden keys. It's made those legendaries pop a lot more. And those guns are actually a lot of fun. Like, I've got one where Handsome Jack is actually trapped inside the gun. So he's just making quips the entire time.
That's
so if you're a fan of him, that's the gun to get.
He was one of the more tolerable characters from that game.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It could be.
But the last story quest I did seems to be moving in the direction of trapping an AI in a gun.
Oh, really?
That you'll get at some point. So I wonder, like that might be a little better.
I wonder.
I got one legendary that's just one of those. I guess this is a common thing, but it's a pistol that you never have to reload. It has like a clip of $9.99 and
oh really?
And the magazines or
Does it heat up? Is it a COV gun?
You just pull the trigger and it shoots. The recoil's like fine. It's like 20 damage a pop, which isn't the greatest, but like my character's all about getting crits and like getting damage off of getting crits, and so I'm like, this is perfect. I can just aim for the weak spot. And
yeah, totally.
Like the legendaries are fun. They did that. They managed to come up with some unique ideas, I think, which is cool. I'm like following a guide to get some of the in-world like puzzly ones.
Right.
Those are cool. Cool guns.
But yeah, my point is that like, you know, in the initial, you know, offerings of that game, you know, there's not a lot of personality to those guns, but it seems like they do, you know, expand quite a bit. Like it's
like mid to late game stuff, or you know,
it takes a while, and that's kind of a shame. And I wish they would give you stuff.
So I feel like
I remember in like Borderlands,
like I'm like higher level than y'all, and I still have not like naturally encountered any like.
I found one in my
personality.
Yeah, I found one. It just didn't have personality, but it was this.
I don't necessarily mean it talks.
My game breaking gun that I got doesn't talk or anything like that. It doesn't have a personality or any flavor text. But it shoots differently than any other gun that I've had. Like it shoots these 2 bullets, and then there's like a strand of lightning that goes in between them, and it goes super slow. But it just decimates fucking anything that it comes in contact with, and it makes the game so much more fun that way. But I've also got this pistol. I hate Malawan stuff because it's charged.
Charge stuff sucks, yeah.
But this one in particular, it doesn't just fire off one bullet. It's a steady stream. It's like a goddamn fucking proton pack.
I've had a few of those.
Those are fucking rad.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
They always felt like low damage. Like every time I found one, it's been like, okay, like.
But if you get a high damage one like that's just super fun. You just point shoot and just it melts their hit points away. It's pretty great. The loop in that game, you know, they do shooting and looting pretty well, you know, and I totally get where this is way more of that, you know, and we've all played hundreds of hours of the previous
and I think they've even improved on the previous games shooting.
Yeah,
like
to a certain
enemy behavior and stuff like that is a little more varied.
I don't feel like they've gone above and beyond, you know, what they've done in previous outings, you know, by any means. But right now, like the loop is good for me.
And I guess.
And I'm not going to give it any more credit than that.
Yeah,
you know, like there's been plenty of moments where I'm just groaning at the fucking screen, but. The minute to minute
on mute.
I wound up doing that.
Yeah,
when I started.
It's fun because you like occasionally start reading the dialogue and you're like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah,
and then tune out again.
Intro sequence of like following Claptrap for like 10 or so minutes, just like stop it.
That classic Borderlands intro.
Yeah,
I mean, that was 2. That was.
I actually missed
that game.
The intro. Was there a Cage the Elephant song at the top of this game?
Something similar.
It's a There's a Borderlands ass intro song in that thing. You hear it go, okay, yeah.
I like walked away from my computer while it was or my PlayStation while it was installing, and when I came back, it was already like in motion, and I was just like, I could watch this again, or I think I'm already going to play this. I already was convinced at that point I was going to play it on mute, so I was just like, let's go for it.
This is going to sound weird.
Listen to the song on Spotify,
but Borderlands 3 makes me worried about the next Zombieland movie. Because
oh shit!
No, this doesn't sound weird at all. Go on.
So, like, a huge aesthetic of Zombieland was the static 3D text in world, and then people like it kind of interacting with the title sequence and like the zombie parts flying around, and that is still a thing in Borderlands 3. Of like, here's this dune buggy that's gonna drive by the screen, but this text is gonna be like 3D on the dune buggy, and just seeing how kind of stuck in time I've noticed Borderlands 3 to be of it, you know, the writing kind of being funny a couple years ago makes me worried about Zombieland 2 Double Tap, because I feel like
is that what they're calling it? Double Tap?
Double Tap, yes.
I think that explains everything.
Yeah,
I think like they're going back to...
You just answered your own question.
Yeah.
Damn it.
What celebrity do you think they're going to get for a really good cameo like the Bill Murray one?
Right.
Common.
Why?
Common's an okay actor.
Point taken.
He was in Wanted.
Yeah, he was good at John Wick too.
Kind of
the Wanted game was better than it should have been.
Yeah.
Zombieland was shot in Atlanta, and I didn't know that at the time. So I actually went to like an initial screening, and I felt special because like there were a bunch of like extras in the audience, and he's like, "I'm coming up. There I am." I'm like, you were just laying on the ground there, dude. That's
All right. Well, why don't we lay on the ground for a moment here and take a break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about, I don't know, Cube World and Session, and the news, some other stuff. Hey man, you like that internet?
It's okay.
All right.
I guess it could be better.
It could be better.
We could stand to spruce it up a little bit.
Exactly. It's time to take matters into our own hands.
Do a little redecorating.
Yes, it's time to turn our dreams into realities with Squarespace.
Make a new website and put it up on the shelf.
Exactly.
Over the fireplace.
The internet shelf, the hearth.
On the mantle.
Yes. Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Yeah.
I'm passionate about home decorations.
Great.
Refurnishing.
Yeah.
Interior design.
All of that stuff could be on a website.
Oh.
And regardless of what you're doing, if you're looking to start a new business, showcase your work, publish some content, sell some stuff, even more, whatever you want to do, Squarespace is the tool for you. Squarespace has beautiful templates created by world-class designers and the ability to customize just about anything with just a few clicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make it mine.
Exactly. Make it your own and make it beautiful. All by your lonesome.
What if I wanted it to be ugly?
If you want it to be ugly, that's on you. You can definitely grime these up. Just, insert the grimiest graphics you can find, the worst animated GIFs, a lot of pictures of Tim Allen, whatever you've got. You could just throw it in there. And you'd also sell stuff. Squarespace has powerful e-commerce functionality.
E-commerce?
E-commerce.
Not the regular kind of commerce.
No.
It's the 21st century kind.
21st century. E-commerce is the regular kind of commerce as far as I'm concerned.
Man, I guess you're right.
You can sell anything online using that functionality, and they've got analytics help to let you grow in real time.
Numbers.
That's right. Look at these numbers,
Data.
and hopefully they're going up.
Big data.
The data just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's all optimized for mobile right out of the box.
Big data for little screens.
That's right. The littlest screens.
Kind that fit in your pocket.
You want to buy a domain? Yes, you do.
Yeah, sure.
Squarespace makes it simple.
Oh, good.
And
it can be, it can be surprisingly hard to find a domain sometimes.
They've got that under control, and you'll get the help you need. They've got 24/7 award-winning customer support. So they're ready to support you if you need it. You probably won't even need it. I mean, all this stuff is like pretty much you can configure it all yourself. But if you run into some issues,
I could call them up. I could be like, "What top-level domains do you have?"
Yeah, you open a chat window. You'd be like, "What is the deal?"
Y'all sell .bike over there?
Y'all got that .bike? I own a .bike domain.
I should get a .bike.
Why not? Squarespace empowers millions of people, not just .bikers, but designers and lawyers and artists.
You think is there a .city?
There probably is. Okay. That seems like something that would exist by now.
Yeah.
But they'll turn your great ideas into something real. Head over to squarespace.com/bombcast and you'll get a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, you can use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast, and the offer code, it's BOMBCAST. And we're back.
Hey.
How was the floor, guys?
Yeah, I was
straightened out the back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Right. Smells good.
It smells a little bit like Axe down there.
Oh, still.
Sorry.
That was me.
Video games. There's still even more to talk about.
What?
There's more?
There are still
They're
more,
not stopping.
There's still more video
Slow
games.
down, video games.
Grab the wall.
Though I don't know if a lot of these are like we have a ton to say about them. Cube World came out.
I bought that like 20 years ago.
Yeah. I bought that in the 70s and now it's on Steam.
What's Cube World?
It's like a Minecraft. But with quests.
Yeah.
Like it's so you like it's that kind of block-based voxel looking
right.
style, but you create a character and a class and then you go out into the world and die over and over again. And it's still that game. I remember that game. I think it was like 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the developer making it was selling it on his website, and you could go buy it. So I did, because at the time the idea of it's like Minecraft but with quests was like novel and interesting.
Yeah, because
all that stuff.
There's a few.
Yeah, now there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's
That's
a lot of time.
80% of video
Yeah,
games at this
exactly.
point.
A lot of time has passed.
Some of the Minecraft has quests now.
Right. Yeah. And so I fired it up on Steam. I think I was expecting more out of the time.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that different. Like I created a character, like it's in early access. So it is still not finished.
So it's not out.
No, this is a beta before it was an alpha.
Okay.
And there was no like, hey, here's what you can do. Here's what the buttons do. Go here, do this. Like there was no aspect of it that was like structured. It was just you created a character, it dumped it into the world, and then you figured out how combat worked and all the other stuff kind of on your own. And you just encounter roving bands of giant bees or frogmen or other stuff that just like fucking murder you.
Shit.
And you are helpless against these fuckers. I guess maybe if you level up or eventually craft better gear,
what kind of weapons do you make? Just a big club?
Well, so the warrior class started with a gigantic club as well as a sword and a shield. So you could equip a sword and a shield or use the gigantic club. And how that class works is like as you hit an enemy, you build up MP, and then you cash in that MP with like a spin move or a bigger attack or like a charge ability. And you can stun an enemy and then get in more hits, which is fine in a one-on-one confrontation. You can win. But when 3 other guys are running up on you going, check this shit out, you're just fucked. You're just fucked. So I feel like no closer to understanding like what do you do in Cube World? Like I still don't have the answer all these years later. But like it looks nice and it still looks good and all that sort of stuff. So
is it still just the one guy making it?
I think so.
Or is he scaled up to like a kind of a big team now?
I don't. I think it's still single dev. Like I've been chipping away at it for years and years and years, and this is kind of the result of that work. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre story, and just it's cool that it has advanced, and it's an interesting story as well. Yeah, and I think that there's surely potential there still, even after all these years. But it's a weird thing. Got to dig into it more, kind of see what he has said. I haven't really looked into a lot of what he's been saying as the developer. The developer's been out there talking about it or kind of giving some advice or something like that. I'm not too sure.
A lot of what you've been saying about this game I can easily apply to a game that I'm playing right now, Noita.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar in less voxels for sure, but everything's kind of 2 based.
I think it is still actually technically
probably because there's like weird way. There's physics applied to a lot of the stuff, but they just kind of throw you in there. It seems more engineered than it is designed for sure. But I've played
8 or 9 minutes of Noita, and which is not very much. And like the way the fluid dynamics and stuff, and the way fire travels and all that stuff, like it seems like an amazing system of systems.
But I don't understand a lick of what's going on.
What is the game?
You're a wizard with a wand. It's a side-scrolling pixel art game. Yeah. You are a wizard with a wand. You can pick up other wands. You have an item bar.
Figured out it's run based. Okay.
Yeah, it's run based. So now the store page is up and it kind of gives a little more detail.
Right.
Brad had seen this game a while back, so I kind of knew roughly what it was, but at the same time, it's it kind of throws you in the deep end for sure. But it's like cool because you can start experimenting with things, and anytime you mouse over anything, it will tell you what the substance is. Okay, it's like, hey, this is oil, really? Or hey, this is smoke.
Oh, I wasn't playing with a mouse.
Okay,
that could be helpful.
And so like you will set things on fire. Like, oh, here's some oil, and I knocked this fire into it or lantern into it, and now it's on fire, and whoops, so am I. And then you see smoke gathering at the top, and the smoke will kind of move through the cavern realistically. And so it's really...
So it reminds the way you're describing it reminds me of like a Terraria almost. Like
it is side view, like similar in concept.
But like physics will
absolutely
play with like water, sand.
This is like it goes off the deep end on the physics stuff.
It's really
whereas Terraria had physics, but it was like
just to make the world seem a little more...
Like sometimes it just felt kind of broken in a weird way, and you could exploit the. But definitely, like I had built a lot of stuff with friends in Terraria, and then said like, check this shit out. I'm putting a bunch of lava on your shit.
Yeah,
and that was always fun. Always
for everyone involved.
For everyone, yeah. They got to build it again, which that's half the fun right there. And I got to get more lava. And so this is like that physics stuff taken to like a much higher degree.
Sure.
And watching the fluid kind of move around the level as you go and stuff like that. But like, combat is like you shooting stuff with a wand and finding other wands that have different abilities and shoot differently and stuff like that.
You throw grenades as well.
Yeah.
It looks like you've got spots or slots for like 10 different things at once.
So it's similar to like a Terraria.
Wands and grenades.
In that way, wands and grenades. But yeah, I need to play way more of it as well.
Same.
What's this on?
PC.
Only?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Early access on
Just
on
came
PC.
out in
Just
early
came out
access.
like it's out today.
Kind of reminds me of Pixel Junk Shooter. Watching some of the trailers,
Okay.
just like how the fluids factor into
Yeah, a little
stuff.
bit of that. But again, like this is like their whole pitch is like these
Check out this lava
substances will
flow.
interact with each other in the way you
more
expect,
advanced
and then
way.
the fluids will flow
Okay.
the way you want them to, and like all that stuff is. I think it's really well done. Even just like my limited time with it, seeing it in action, you're like, man,
impressive.
this is cool. But then you watch the trailers and watch someone who knows what the fuck they're doing do it, and you're like, man, this is
There's a lot more
Crazy.
going on than
Yeah.
I've seen in my 8 minutes.
seems really cool.
Yep.
Also seems really cool. Session.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's out on PC. It's a skateboarding game. It is going for the skate thing of trying to make things in a somewhat realistic fashion. This seems like it's going further in the realism direction. They've made some different choices with how the controls work, but it is still like you use both analog sticks to kind of do tricks. And in this, you use the triggers to steer.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like left trigger, right trigger to steer left and right. And then you have buttons for your front foot, back foot. And then you have analog sticks for front foot, back foot.
Oh, wow.
Or actually, by default, it's left foot, right foot. So when you're skating switch, all the tricks are different. So
that's
like,
a neat touch.
So like by default in regular stance, I think you will push down on the left stick to get into position, and then up on the right to ollie. You'll flick up on the right to ollie, or flick to the left to kick flip or heel flip, whatever. And then skating switch, if you're turned the other way, it's down on the right stick and then up on the left to like nollie, or to skate fakie, all that stuff. So you can turn off that if you just want. I switched that off to just like I want the feet to not switch when I skate. Switch
off the switch
Just
foot.
let me get my mind around a little bit of it. It's really bare bones. It's in early access. It's got like a very loose tutorial that like one of the grinds it wanted me to do. Like I know what the grind is, and I was doing what it was saying to do, and I just failed it like 20, 30 times in a row. To the point where like the guy, the little static face that comes up to tell you to do the tutorial said like, maybe the devs wrote a bad description for this one. I don't know. And the answer,
I gotta go home.
And the answer is, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because like it said, like push this way and do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm still doing this. And then I landed it once and I'm like, okay, all right. I'm not sure what I did differently that time.
That sounds exactly like the early hours of Skate.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of it is just getting used to like the physics of being on a skateboard, and your grinds are done in that way of just like, I need to land on this rail in a realistic fashion to do this grind. And then from there I can kind of manipulate it, or, or if I push out left and right, then, kind of end up sideways, do board slides and that sort of stuff. And I think it's it's in early access to the extent that like grabs are under a tab marked experimental. You can turn on grabs. Which I have not done because we're
not ready for that.
I'm not up to speed on the shit that's in there so far. So but it's got the skate thing of like set down a respawn marker, warp to your respawn on the D-pad. It's got that in there, and it really is just like, hey, get out there and fucking skate and record yourself doing it, and you can look at the videos later. That's kind of it. It's got some challenges in there, but those seem more like proofs of concept.
To watch it later.
I haven't recorded footage yet or anything like that, but the default camera angle is very low.
Yeah.
Good.
Like you see
Okay.
the
Do
you
lower
hear
half of the
You hear like the sound of the
yeah, good sound effects
Good.
of trucks and all that sort of stuff, and it is very promising. They seem like they're coming at it from a very like they've got good ideas about the thing they want to build, and I guess I just like it's very early access, so it's hard to. Like it's not necessarily like here's a campaign of tricks to do and a story. It's not that. All right, it's just like here's an environment to skate in and get good at the controls and record yourself doing it and show that to other people. And that's what they've got right now.
Cool.
And that's if that's enough for you, I think it's really cool.
How far do they take the geometry? Could you skate up a curb, or would you instantly bail out?
You would instantly bail out.
Cool. All right, I like it.
It's you will fall. You will ragdoll over and over again in this game. It's fun to watch your guy ragdoll onto like a park bench and end up slumped over, and you're like, yeah, stay there.
Yeah.
Just stay there.
Is it the place you're skating around? Is it a specific like actual skate park, or is it just like a generic?
Streets, like I haven't skated the entire.
Where
like
skating belongs.
Yeah. You were out on the streets. I haven't seen the entirety of the space. When I the first time I loaded it up, I was like, this seems really small, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm just not going down this ramp or over here. It's actually a larger area than I thought it was initially. It's neat. I will be watching them. I already was like, okay, they're doing a cool thing here, but it seems like a really cool control scheme.
Yeah.
That like they say up front, like if you pause it and go into the menu to look at the trick list, like there's a thing written on there that sounds just says like Session is a hard game, and they're not fucking lying. Getting your mind around some of that stuff will take work. It'll take time. Just like these mechs in Daemon X Machina. Ben, you played some of that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not a hard game.
Yeah?
Yeah, kind of. So yeah, I've played through a bit of it. I'd say like the first 3 hours. This is that new mech game from Marvelous.
Marvelous.
And published by Nintendo. But yeah, so at this point, people who are really into mechs can tell you that this game is like heavily influenced by Armored Core. That's a game I missed out on.
Yeah, that's a series that I'm kind of a fair weather fan. I've played a bunch of them, not to completion all the time, but I look forward to a new Armored Core every time they come out. And this definitely invoked.
I have a cool looking Armored Core figurine that I have enjoyed way more than any of the Armored Core games. It's got a sick chain gun.
Does it have like the shoulder?
It's got a shoulder chain gun.
Interesting. So yeah, this is like I don't know. We throw the term around a lot, but when I see an exemplary example of it,
go on.
I like to say that this is a video game as video game.
Okay,
I'd like to submit that to the video game as video game Hall of Fame. It is a game where you are just going between like hangar, where you can outfit your mech. Basically, there's so much customization stuff, which I'll get into, but you like hangar, where you change up your mech, and then mission, where you play for 5 to 15 minutes. You say like that, maybe that longer mission we played on the UPF, on the quick look, where we were going through the underground passage, which was like maybe 15.
That's a quick little jaunt through some tunnels.
Yeah. How complicated is like movement and weapons? And like is it very strategic in terms of like, are you worrying about heat? Are you worrying about ammo? Like what are your concerns as a mech pilot?
Not as extreme as it could be. Okay. It's a little more arcadey. There is ammo. So basically your kind of main focus is on 3 gauges. You have your HP, that's just health. You have your stamina. Well, they call it something else. They call it like VP.
Hit points. What the fuck is that about?
Weird. Vitality points.
Oh, come on.
Your stamina gauge, which is only used for boosting. You can like do a little double tap.
That's like flying a little bit, kind of hovering, and then shooting back and forth.
Yeah. So you can you can raise and lower your height at any time. But if you want to go just be like jetting around, you got to use that stamina. And you have a third meter called Femto, I think. And its special power is it's kind of like a mana bar almost. You can hit it to activate your power, which is kind of create a doppelganger of yourself. And it will fly around and distract enemies and stuff. And, it doesn't shoot, but enemies will target it, and it kind of lets you
bamboozle them.
Yeah, it lets you either like back up and get some like long range pressure in, or if you are like kind of a more melee focused mech, there are melee weapons. You can swing around a big club. And
do you get a fucking like mace, like a glowing Megatron fucking?
I got a Megatron ass mace right now.
It's like spinning like I guess it's more of a flail, right?
Yeah,
like if it's on a chain.
Like a morning.
This is on a
a traditional mace.
Yeah,
got it.
You can like pick up a car off the ground and throw it. It has that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then, flight, it's a little complicated. You got a lot of buttons to know, like your stick, like clicking the stick to lower your height is a different button than raising your height. Yeah. And it kind of like throws a lot at you at the beginning of the game. Like there's like 3 missions of tutorial, and it basically tells you everything that's in the game, minus a couple little things. So there was definitely an onboarding process, let's say, to mech piloting. But once you get into it, it's really not super difficult. As long as you're outfitted right. I've found that most of my issues with dealing with scenarios where I'm having more trouble than other ones is in just not being equipped to fight a certain type of enemy that I'm finding. And they're usually good about in the briefing telling you what kind of enemies you're going to fight against. But I had, unfortunately, the first level in the quick look kind of had this big surprise boss fight. And I had 2 melee weapons, not equipped, but you can have 2 weapons equipped, 1 on each arm, and then 2 backup weapons that you can swap between on the fly. I had 2 melee weapons in my rotation, and the boss would not you do not want to be in melee range of him at all.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, let me back out, change my load up, and to its credit, it's pretty snappy, and there's not huge load times or anything. So you're back.
But
in
you
that
did
mission.
still play that mission over again with a better loadout. Okay.
Yeah. And so that can be it can be a little frustrating, but it was a nice little lesson at the beginning to be okay,
you should be prepared for anything.
Yeah, just make sure check your loadout before you leave. Just like a mech pilot would.
Make sure you have some ice cream before you go.
Right. Yeah. Definitely hit up the ice cream shop. There's this whole thing where you order cup cone or waffle cone.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And then you order a single or a double scoop.
Get a double.
And then you choose from the flavors of the day. It'll be chocolate,
This is
raspberry.
just like Astral Chain.
They've got lychee.
Yeah.
They've got lychee. They had lychee. And then it'll give you 6% buff to landing rearm speed or something, and you just do that
As a lychee do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a temporary mission
So it's
buff.
Monster Hunter then.
Yeah.
Eat before you go on the mission.
Right.
And then it also gets Monster Hunter when you start looking into those stats. I showed Jason the advanced stats menu, and there was for each weapon.
That
just
seems like you could kind of gloss over that stuff.
very much so. That it's in a sub
But it's
menu
there.
to even look at it. But left rotational speed, right rotational speed. Just kind of anything
okay. Wow,
you could
actually,
have.
yeah.
In an Armored Core
I'm just
game.
nodding my head and saying yes, and then I realized what you said about left and separate. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
In an Armored Core game, you would probably want to worry about a lot of that stuff.
And maybe in the end
you
game,
really don't have to.
maybe I like I said, I've only played the first few hours. Maybe there is kind of some more tough end game stuff. There's
maybe
there's story missions, but then there's also repeatable side missions, and those seem like those could be a little more challenging. They have optional objectives that seem a little more ambitious than or more rewarding. But it's cool. It really scratches that. I even like bad mech games like those Gundam ones on GameCube. As a blockbuster rental, I'm just I'm in a robot, shooting other robots. Whee!
that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Do you give me a good swarm missile? I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, the swarm missile is nice. There's good lock-on sound effects.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an arcadey, Armored Core. This is anime as fuck.
Oh yeah, the story
It's got a very basic, kind of
most
loop,
anime.
but it seems pretty fun.
It sounds all right. I think that's I don't
Cool visuals
when
too.
mech games go
it's got a
too
style
far
to it.
into the strategy thing. I kind of lose it a little bit.
I can see that.
So if they're walking that line well, then maybe I will give that a look.
Yeah, you could gloss over as long as you're just fine to occasionally switch up your guns. There's a whole thing where whenever you down an enemy mech, you get to harvest one piece off of them.
That's cool.
His gun or his piece of armor or something, and you can take those and equip them. But you can also, if you get multiples of the same ones, you can upgrade them. So you can very specifically try and do a Monster Hunter thing where you're trying to harvest a certain set of armor or whatever by killing the same, reloading the same missions and taking out the same kinds of mechs.
We should play Biomotor Unitron someday.
That's one of the best video game names I've ever heard.
It's a Neo Geo Pocket game. Okay. Do you like Pokemon?
I love Pokemon.
That guy loves Pokemon.
Do you like mechs?
I love mechs.
What if they just made a Pokemon style RPG, but you were building a mech and constantly
Metabots?
you were finding parts and
that sounds
replacing
like Metabots.
parts, and it was not Metabots.
Who's the guy with the beetle horn?
Rokusho.
Rokusho. Is Rokusho in it?
Yeah, Rakusha's in it.
Dude, does he have a sick cape?
That's the sickest cape.
Fuck! Yeah, we should play that.
I played a lot of you go to the arena, there was all the rank up, and
That sounds like.
yeah.
that sounds
but it's a role playing game, turn-based combat, all that sort of
Oh, okay.
stuff.
This is right on my alley. What the
Menu-based.
fuck?
It literally is what if we made a Pokemon game but with mechs?
Oh shit.
It's kind of
That's cool.
maybe that's giving it's smaller in scope than that, but
Sure.
it is similar to that. I got way into that game. They made a sequel that was, I think it was Japan only. There might be a fan translation of it though.
Neat.
Anyway,
neat.
That's a mech game.
That's a mech game.
That's a mech game.
That's a mech game. You know what else is a mech game? Call of Duty Modern Warfare. No. Not
Is that
really.
a mech game?
No, it's not a mech game.
No.
So they ran weekend 2 of their multiplayer beta this weekend, which they just sent out a press release saying Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer beta, biggest ever in franchise history.
Boom.
To which I say, yeah, you ran it on all 3 platforms at the same fucking time. Like it had better be, right? Anyway. So we talked a little bit about this. They are doing cool stuff with Modern Warfare this year, I think, and we ran a video, ran it unfinished, that is kind of just like going through some of the basic modes that is in there because they hadn't created like separate playlist entries for the other stuff until the weekend. So over the weekend, I played Ground War, which is 32 versus 32.
Good God.
And a Battlefield-esque, like there are 5 control points spread across a large map. You can spawn on a squad make like Battlefield, but it still is Call of Duty in terms of speed and time to kill and kill streaks. It's fucking ridiculous. Like there is so much bullshit happening at all
like there
times.
could be, yeah.
And there's
permanent UAV.
Yes,
up
exactly.
and, like,
There's like ATVs and fucking tanks and all this other shit.
Holy shit.
So like there's vehicles and stuff that you don't normally see in a Call of Duty game. And there's just nonstop bullshit. It's fucking great. It's so stupid. And it just, yeah, exactly. There's like 2 fucking helicopters up in the air at all times. There's fucking 3
I bet you
tanks
were loving
rolling
it with
past
your
you.
fucking rocket launcher.
I'm just shooting shit out of the sky. I'm shooting tanks with a rocket launcher. I'm taking control points and just dying over and over again. It's just bullshit. And like, you know, the reaction that I saw, like I talked about, I'm just on Twitter said like, hey, I'm having a lot of fun with this fucking mode. And people were like, oh, it's like Battlefield, but it's too chaotic. Like, no, man.
that's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's why I'm here.
It's fucking nonstop dumb shit. And yeah, I had a really good time with it. It's fucking weird. It's weird to see like Call of Duty take on that style, like that has traditionally been the Battlefield mode,
Right.
Like a conquest style thing. Like it's a little more in line with that.
That sounds cool.
The control point's not linked though, so you can always like go around and capture the other point at the other end and stuff. It's not like you have to push and pull. Might be more fun if you had to push and pull. But anyway, so I had a lot of fun with it. It's real dumb. It's real dumb. And then the night vision mode, they also ran some of that.
Oh, what's that?
They have night versions of the maps, and every player has night vision goggles. And when you aim down sights, you see a laser sight coming out of your gun.
Oh.
And also, any other player will see that beam and know where you are.
Right.
Only when you go to iron
Only
sights?
when you pull the
It's like a
trigger.
laser tag.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're kind of holding the gun down. And they don't see it.
Yeah.
So like you see the beam and you know like someone is aiming my way. And that was cool.
That sounds cool.
And you know, in a game with like HDR and all other stuff, like, you know, that can look really interesting as well.
You've been playing on PC, right?
Yeah. PC with a
that
controller. It's fine. That is likely how I will play that game, on PC with a controller.
And it's matching you with other controller players,
It is,
right?
yes, yeah. So you see the platform icon, like, hey, I'm playing against mostly PlayStation people and a couple of Xbox people, and I'm the only person on a PC because most people playing the PC version want a mouse and keyboard.
Sure.
And good, they can have it.
Yeah.
Go off in another silo and play that way. It's great, whatever. I like playing it on console, and now I can play it at a much higher frame rate than the console version will ever get. And that's fun.
Seems like the smartest way to do that stuff.
Totally, yeah. And then very quickly before we get into news, it says Mega Mall Story 2.
That's right, baby. Cryo?
Cryosoft. Cryo.
I only read it. I've never said it out loud. But Mega Mall
That
Story
means you're smart.
2,
Yeah.
That's what that's.
yeah, I'm a genius. The fine people, I mean, their biggest hit was what? Game Dev Story?
Probably, yeah.
And they've made a trillion games like that, basically. We talked briefly about their dark middle chapter where they got into like the freemium model.
Yeah. They got off course in a way that made me stop checking for their games.
So I'm just pulling up their store page right now. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like 30, 40 40 games like it. And they're all fucking bangers except those like that chunk there of the shitty ones. And then I never played much Mega Mall Story 1, but if you've played any
you're
of these
missing
games,
all the story.
I'm missing the most Mall Story.
Yeah.
But it's it's like one of those little sim games where I'm building out a mall. I'm showing everyone here, and you can like
what era mall though? Like, is it an 80s or 90s or like the aughts?
Seems like
where it's like completely dead.
Yeah.
No, it's
What's the food court?
How many
situation?
burned out store fronts are there in your mall?
well, a lot right now, but that's just because I'm getting it off the ground. So
okay, yeah,
it's,
keep telling yourself that.
How many stores sell leggings?
Yeah.
I got a balloon store.
Okay.
And there might be leggings in the general store. Hold on.
Balloon leggings are very hot right now.
This just in. I've got a new shopper at my mall. She's a fashion blogger, and she wants me to build a fashion store. It's
don't bow to influencers. What you're like? Oh,
how else am I gonna
hey,
get traffic?
I'll write about your mall if you open a store that I like. Don't do that.
But also, what if I did do that, and what if she wrote about it, and I got more business?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's how that works.
Who needs morals when you have a mall?
That's what the T-shirt says.
Mega Mall Story 2. Play Kairosoft games.
They're still good.
They're still good.
Okay, good. Except for those handful in the middle.
Except for
they're good
like
again.
it's like the train one, and there's one other one that was shitty. But
all right, let's get into the news. Unless anyone's got any other video games they've been playing.
No, I swear.
All right.
Well, there's no.
Astral Chain, didn't like it. Now I like it.
Okay.
It's like Chaos Legion with cops.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
I gotta play more of that. Shit.
Yeah, like I have that and Daemon X Machina on the Switch, and
Same.
I'm looking at both of them and Link's Awakening and all this other stuff, and go like, man,
I got a cool new controller to use though.
I got a cool new Switch to use.
Sweet.
The Switch Lite is out. Breaking news at this hour.
what color did you get?
Turquoise is for my wife.
Okay.
I got it for her because eventually we're both going to need Switches to play Animal Crossing on.
Yep.
And
You're gonna need a third Switch.
Yeah,
for all three of you to play Animal Crossing on.
I would hope by the time we get there's a platform change and another Animal Crossing game. But
sounds like you just don't want to start doing the important parenting work early that you need to be doing, which is getting your child ready to run a village.
I let my child
farm you bells.
I let my child watch Amiga demo scene demos because it kept her nice and distracted over the weekend for a little while. So don't talk to me about good parenting. Worked like a charm. The Switch Lite, it's smaller. The D-pad doesn't seem as good as I want it to be, but it's fine.
A bummer.
I also had to go through the Switch process of just like, okay, how the fuck do I get two people to play the same digital games?
Yeah.
And it's the same as the PS4 where you have to like activate. You make
yeah.
your account. You put your primary account on the Switch that you're handing to someone so they can play your games. And now on my Switch, I will always have to be connected to the internet to play any of those games at all, which is fine. Whatever. I don't take my Switch with me anywhere ever, so that's not much of an issue.
That's a deal breaker for me.
But it still seems like that process should be done in such a way where like they need to solve for it. Like for families that own multiple Switches, there should be like, hey, if you're paying, and maybe this doesn't work out on a business way, maybe they want more money than this. They obviously want more money than this. Like, hey, if you're paying for the family account of online tier, like that, the upper tier for online, the 6 account, family account or whatever, anyone in your family can play your games. Like do something like that. That's like what the Apple family sharing is with apps.
Right.
Granted, apps don't cost $60. So it's kind of a different pricing situation that Nintendo is in, and Nintendo, I'm sure, would love to. I mean, charge us $60 for this goddamn Link's Awakening. Yeah. So clearly, they want money.
They would love money.
They love money. They're 130 years old. You don't get to be 130 years old without a love of money.
That's true. Ask Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
He didn't love money enough.
He didn't love money enough.
The answer there. He loved his grotto. Anyway, the Switch Lite, it's a Switch but smaller. It seems good. The screen quality is nice.
But it's smaller.
Oh
man.
It is sharp. Any game you've had problems reading on the regular Switch, It's going to suck even more on the Switch Lite.
Looking at you, fire.
I feel like that's something that they need to start enforcing, like in the final approval process, about like, hey, your text is too small.
I'm at a point now, like my eyes are bad, right? And I cannot read anything on the Switch, so I have to play in docked mode.
It reminds me of those early days of the Xbox 360, where like some games, if you were running them at SD resolutions, the subtitles were totally unreadable, or UI elements were fucked. And
Dead Rising,
Dead Rising was the big one back then. It reminds me of that a little bit, where like they probably just Nintendo needs to step in and have guidance around like, hey, your shit must be this big to ride this ride, and the Switch Lite will probably exacerbate that in a handful of cases. But like it's a cheaper Switch. It does exactly what you think it does.
How much cheaper?
It's like $200.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I don't need one. I already have a Switch.
Right.
And I think the default Switch is fine for my needs. I don't need to get a new one just for that stuff.
Yeah, same. I haven't even been eyeing them up.
Yeah, but as a multi-Switch household, like it's a perfect addition to that.
Right.
And I think it's fine. I bet that will sell real well with Pokemon later on this year and stuff like that. Like that discounted or that lower price, I think will be will be more appealing to parents and stuff like that. It'll probably help like get a younger demographic into the Switch. As weird as that sounds, it sounds like that's something that sounds like something that they're looking for.
Lay that groundwork.
Yeah. So
how does it feel? Does it feel like super cheap because it's Switch Lite, like how a 2DS kind of feels?
It feels a little bit like a less solid, like the 2DS felt like a tank.
Yeah.
This feels a little hollow in some ways.
Okay.
Like the edges are a little more round. Like I don't necessarily like the way the D-pad feels or the way the buttons press, but that's a minor deal. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a totally acceptable experience if you want a handheld only Switch. If that's what you value, the price drop, and you want the ability to get it for that price, and then are willing to accept that, hey, it can't run on a TV and all that other stuff, it does exactly that. It does it really well. So cool. Let's talk about lawsuits.
Oh, I can't.
Dang it.
My lawyer is advising me not to speak on the issue.
We are experts on all things law.
A French consumer organization has successfully won in court against Valve. This is something.
Yeah.
The initial claim was brought back in 2015, and Kotaku is reporting this in English. There's a French site that reported a lot of it as well. Oh, geez, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. The UFC K Chaussure.
Nailed it.
Won this ruling, basically saying that Valve needs to allow users to resell their digital games, which would be a huge shift in in the way Valve does business, or the way any digital storefront works. Like there are not a lot of places allowing that to happen. Also on that list, Steam users that want their Steam wallet paid out should be able to get that money.
Wait, like in
francs or euros, I guess. In French money, like that is part. So that's like part of this suit is that sort of stuff. Also, Valve needs to be accepting responsibility if an item on Steam caused a user harm, even if that item is still in beta. So if it,
what kind of harm are we talking about?
Like, I guess data loss, like, oh, this destroyed my computer. Like, I think
like a seizure.
No, I don't. Like this stuff's pretty vague, but it's kind of like just staking out some consumer rights around
the Steam wallet thing, though. That's huge because like there was people who just like trade on there all day basically, and their end game was always like Steam money.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. If that was the case, I think the hat market would disappear overnight. Valve would be like, all right, we're closing up shop.
I gotta sell them on Dota hats real fast.
Let's see, and Valve must clarify conditions for losing a Steam account for poor behavior. Kind of like clarifying, like here's if you do this, and this, you will lose your account. Like it's right now, it's a little vague in terms of like, you cheated this game, you get VAC banned, blah blah blah. Like what causes that? Refusal to comply will cost them €3,000 per day for up to 6 months. But before you get too excited about any of this shit. Valve plans to appeal, of course.
Sure.
So none of this stuff will go into effect.
I mean, that'd be a pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah, this, and I guess like it sounds like Valve's argument was like, we're a subscription service, like the idea of that no one actually owns any of this stuff, so they can't resell it.
Yeah.
And the court was like, no, dude, y'all selling this shit.
And I don't know if it says it in the article you have about this open, but I was seeing a lot of the talk around it is like, yeah, this is kind of how it's set up in like the larger EU. Like this is like something that would not just be in France.
If this happened in France, it would pave the way for it to happen more across the EU, and then that would be change on a grand scale for how digital storefronts operate.
It would have to just completely
it would not just be Valve. It would have to then be Epic and PSN, and like everyone would kind of have to fall in line around that sort of stuff. Yeah.
How is resale value determined for a purely digital good?
I mean, it is in new condition all the time,
right?
So
what if I buy DLC?
That DLC doesn't expire. I mean, unless it's a currency that you use up, or it's like, can you sell the DLC off separately?
What if I don't update it? Will that be vintage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, what did Valve do for hats? Like you'll just have like a vintage copy of Half-Life 2 in your inventory, as opposed to the new copies that they'll somehow sell in a way that they don't allow you to resell it. I don't know.
I can't even fathom what this would look like. Like
none of us are experts in this field, to be sure. But it's
I'm expert enough to know that this is a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like if this stuff came to pass, it would change the way we think of digital storefronts in like a way. Honestly, like I would love to have the ability to sell, to sell some of these games on used. That's
Sell to whom though? Like exactly.
Like would it be the Steam Marketplace, but for games? Like if you suddenly are allowing games on the Steam Marketplace,
like an eBay kind of situation.
But like would if they're talking about cashing out the Valve wallet, would you have to be able to cash out your ownership?
Like,
are all these like blockchain companies like now fucking salivating on like, this is what we meant?
What's the value of like all my Humble Bundle games that I have 5 copies of? Like,
still zero, because everyone else has 5 copies as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the market
only
value.
If I'm selling to other people though, but I don't know.
Yeah. And
got a copy of Portal sitting on.
Yeah.
Free.
I've got beta access to Dota 2 and beta access to the Steam mobile app.
Nice. Oh, shit.
I'll take both of those.
All right. I'll trade them to you for
$1.
Warhammer games. I don't know.
A Steam box. I don't know. What was it called?
Yes.
Steam Link?
Yes, exactly. Trade me back my Steam Link. Give me back my Steam Link. SNK has announced the games that will be packed into its joystick. Remember
I'm ready.
They showed that joystick.
Yeah.
Man, they teased this in a way that like, we're getting back into the hardware business. The Neo Geo, like, and then they
you don't say that shit lately.
Yeah, and then later on they said like our new hardware will interface with the Neo Geo Mini as well as being blah blah blah. And so it was this confusing thing. But at that point you're like, okay.
My expectations quickly fell through the floor.
And then they announced a joystick that will have 20 games built into it, but can also be used as a joystick.
Okay.
USB, plug it into a console. It's a nice looking stick. It does not look like the SNK logo.
Right.
So it could be better.
That's true.
But would look like Terry Bogart's hat.
Oh man.
See, that'd be great. But it will have 20 games built in. They have not confirmed a date or price yet. I feel like every 6 months we're just reading a list of Neo Geo games that will be available in something.
I love it.
So here are the 20.
Metal Slug.
No.
Fuck.
Whoa. You got that robot one you were talking about?
Fighting games.
All fighting games?
King of Fighters 95.
Yep.
Great.
King of Fighters 97.
Okay.
King of Fighters 98.
Okay.
King of Fighters 99.
Yours 95.
King of Fighters 2000. King of Fighters 2002. Fatal Fury Special.
Yep.
Fatal Fury 3. Mark of the Wolves.
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown 2.
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown 3.
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown 4. Samurai Showdown 5.
What?
Yeah.
But not Samurai Showdown 5 Special.
Edition. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still good.
Art of Fighting.
Okay.
World Heroes 2.
Yeah.
World Heroes 2 Jet.
Wait, they have normal and jet?
Yep.
World Heroes Perfect.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Ninja Masters. The Last Blade 2.
Okay.
Ninja Masters
And-
is not a fighting game. Like it's
Ninja Masters is a beat 'em up. Yeah, you're right. That may be and Kazuna Encounter.
Okay.
So 2 beat 'em ups
Uh,
and 17 King of Fighters.
yeah. That's
But no 95.
no 90 no yes
no,
95
no,
no
Yes,
96
No 96.
no 94 no 96
Yeah, that's
no
fine.
Sam Show 1, which is all right.
I've got that.
Art of Fighting 1.
That's interesting.
Like in other cases, they've skipped the first entry in favor of like, no,
Right.
you want to play Fatal Fury 3. We'll put
yeah.
special in here because that's like the version of 1 you might. But they didn't put Samurai Shodown 1 in here. They didn't put King of Fighters 94.
Weird.
And no Fatal Fury 1. No
5
World
special.
Heroes 1. But they're like, hey, Art of Fighting 1. Like, nah, man. No Last Blade 1.
All these collections are
No
so
Waku Waku 7.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, someone in chat said the same thing.
No fucking Real Bout Fatal Fury. None of those games.
None of the real bout games.
I would have put a Real Bout game on here.
They look good. Yeah.
Certainly over like Samurai Shodown 4
Art of Fighting 1.
or Art of Fighting 1. Yeah.
Or 3 World Heroes.
Would have loved to see SVC Chaos on here, though I'm sure maybe there's a little licensing around that would make
Could
that
be.
difficult.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Remember the Capcom fight stick? That was just the Capcom logo.
Yeah, I still want that. Capcom, if you're listening, I would check that out.
I wonder if they are.
All I'm saying is be careful what you
Yeah,
ask before
right.
you ask for a fight stick
I
shaped
mean,
like a logo.
yeah.
So I wonder if they're still full steam ahead on that because I feel like they haven't really talked too much about it because they announced
They
it.
haven't.
They announced it, and then it was said that hey, this thing is running Final Burn Alpha, the emulator, and then a lot of people that contributed code to Final Burn Alpha were like, "Fucking what? You sold like one person responsible for that emulator decided to enter into this agreement with Capcom without telling the other
yikes.
contributors. So all the other contributors said, "Fuck this," or not all of them, a significant number of them, I assume most of them. And now they work on something called Final Burn Neo, which is an open source. They're picking up where Alpha left off and making enhancements and making it open source and all that other stuff.
Good.
Which is the same thing that happened when Nexius got sold and turned into Xenotic. Never mind.
No idea what you're
Never
talking
mind.
about. Wow.
It's first-person shooters. Ilphonic was involved.
Okay.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, when Ilphonic gets involved, that's when I get uninvolved.
wow.
That you
Raphael
take that
Sadiq
back.
is unhappy with it.
Take that back.
Anyway, those are the SNK games installed on that fight stick.
Yeah, it's shaped like one of the the Neo Geo Mini.
Like the
Controllers?
Yeah, it's kind of shaped like the CD pad,
Yeah,
but with a stick.
but yeah, I don't think it's going to be clicky. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
I don't. I think people got hands on with it at TGS and said it was
really?
not, but I
don't know.
I could be wrong. I could be
I
wrong.
don't know.
Apex Legends Season 3 starts October 1st.
Yeah, I needed an excuse to dip back in
Yeah,
around, let's say, Game of the Year time.
Sure. New game, new gun, new battle pass, and a new character named Crypto, who is a hacker.
That trailer was really cool.
It was a cool trailer. Yeah.
The like more cinematic-y kind of weird 3D animation.
It sounds like some data miners have been digging through and finding stuff that makes it sound like Crypto will have a drone
Okay.
that can be used to kind of hack doors.
Crypto got hacked.
And oh no, my wallet.
Did you see? There was an EA tweet that just said, invest in crypto. That's the entire tweet.
I love it. You know, my first reaction was fuck that. And I'm like, nope. No, sure.
Come around.
Fucking why not?
All right.
And so this is all from this is unofficial stuff from data mining, but the idea that would be this drone could maybe like see enemies or highlight enemies or
Yeah,
do
he
something
was
like
like,
that.
people were theorizing he was going to be the second recon character, like Bloodhound.
Sure, that makes sense. And maybe can collect the death boxes of teammates
Oh, interesting.
with the drone, and that the ult could be an EMP pulse that would knock out shields and other kind of gadgets and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's all from data miners. That's all subject to change.
And that all
of course,
kind of matches
but,
along with what happens in the trailer. Like there's a
yeah,
scene of
yeah,
him
there's
looking at a
certainly-
drone on a computer. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I believe it. What's the new gun?
I don't know. I didn't read that far into the story. New gun, new battle pass, that sort of stuff. This seems like, I guess, like, you know, they had season 1 well into development when that game launched.
Yes.
Season 2 was probably pretty well spec'd out. I wonder if this will be the first season where it is like fully developed based on post-launch reactions and stuff like that.
I really hope they, for their own sake, manage to put out something that isn't so egregious in the price.
Everything they've done, they've had to like walk back at least a little bit.
But like
every season, they've had a thing where it's like they had to make one tweak to go like, oh shit, we fucked this up.
And but like not enough to make people interested, because like that's always, you know, I hate to be like fucking get on my corporate business hat for a second, but you have to be able to control the conversation around your game. And if the conversation around your game is
they bungled it up again.
These cosmetics cost $80 for a skin again. Why am I playing this? Why? Like, what motivation do I have to? It's free, but I could be playing some other games right now. Like, come on, guys! It's such a good game, and it's just a shame to see that be like the go-to thing that haters can latch onto. And
damn these haters!
They got me down, Jeff.
Oh, don't let the haters get you down.
They got me down.
I played a lot of that game when the solos playlist was active, and I have not played much of it since.
I haven't either. I haven't touched it.
I still like playing it. I still like playing it with teams and stuff like that. It's cool, but I feel like I got spoiled on that solo stuff, and I want more of the solo stuff, which is dumb because the abilities synergize. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of the way they built the characters, but I just like being able to dip in by myself and just explore and fuck around and just like get some kills and do some shit. And I had a great time with the solo stuff.
Add it like as a way to randomly get matched in. Like click a box that says like occasionally put me in solos, and it's like every fifth game, like you have a chance to just like launch into a solo game or something. That way, you know. I don't know. Game development is harder than it.
And managing a player base and all the other stuff. And apparently managing costs of things is apparently tricky as well. I ended up buying the fucking Lifeline skin when they made their adjustment to like when they fixed or changed the monetization stuff of that last event. I was like, I want that Lifeline skin.
And also, like, it sounds like I didn't play enough to get two hands on it, but the last Battle Pass was a lot more of an interesting proposition than the first Battle Pass.
So the stuff on it was more interesting, to be sure.
So hopefully this one is even a little more.
Yeah, and the challenges and the way they built the challenges for earning levels and stuff like that stuff was actually way easier to do playing solo because a lot of it was like, drop here.
Sure.
Now drop here. Now open chests in this area. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to fuck over a team to do it now. I can just go do it. So
you're not getting those stupid trackers every other level. Like now those are their own thing.
The trackers are silly. The new Battle Pass will have like contrail or like the dive trail customization. Okay. That'll be a new cosmetic slot, I guess. And one other thing that I forgot already.
My robot just blasting weed smoke out of his ass as he falls from the plane into Skull Zone.
Let's hope. You
can tell it's weed smoke because he's like giving you a wink with his one big eye.
He's like, but also he's like, it's legal here.
Yeah, in the sky.
It's legal in the sky. There's no law in the sky.
There is no law. Once you get a certain
Chris Elliott established that's a well established. We know that there's no law. Skylaw. I got a hot new detail about the PlayStation 5 here. You ready?
What you got?
This is barely news, honestly.
But we are 5 seconds away from.
They are about to start their
5
thing.
seconds.
All right, it's going to use less power in suspend mode than the PS4 did.
Woo!
They have partnered with there's a United Nations affiliated coalition that is working on trying to make this stuff more sustainable and all this other stuff, and they have aligned with that. Microsoft also put out a similar press release saying like, hey, we're also reducing our carbon emissions, but Sony's had a little bit in there saying the next console. So it's new console news. So there you go.
Okay.
It's 1 p.m. here locally, and the state of play thing is starting. We're gonna put it on just here and see what's up. Okay, wait a minute. Enhance. Okay, new. Is this Medios?
Is this Medios? Humanity.
Okay. Yes, we'll talk our way through it for the people that are listening to audio.
Oh man, that looks like Bart this morning. Jesus.
It's a big crowd of people here.
This is the spiritual successor to Odama.
All those people.
Oh, if they get stuck in there, Jesus.
And
this is like the final hours of Kingdom Hearts 3.
God damn it! How dare you spoil that for me?
Sorry.
So we know that they're gonna talk some Last of Us 2 here at this thing. All right, this looks like
there's people glow stick fighting.
There's people like Oh, they're the glow stick shooting.
Jesus. This was fucked up. It was like, this game is called Humanity, and it took it like 45 seconds to get to a bunch of people with guns.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know.
Oh, now they're playing Snake.
I say it's fucked up because it's true.
Yeah.
Are they using Move controllers?
Oh, gosh.
Everybody is.
It's got a stylish look. I mean, this will be the first new game from Enhance, right? Because they've so far it's just been Rez and Tetris. Well, Tetris is new. I mean, that's yeah. And Luminous, the Luminous remake
Coming 2020.
Okay, I thought that they got humanity.com. I was gonna say, wow, that's
instead they got humanity.game, which is a really good URL on its own.
There was a truck advertising .game driving around E3, not this year but last year.
Hey everyone, it's time.
But it's like crazy expensive. Like .game domains are not cheap.
Sure, the specific business
I suppose
top level domains are always going to be.
Reveal of Humanity from Enhanced Games.
Okay.
Next up, Infinity Ward gives us an all-new look. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I thought that was John Barenthal for a second, but I was like,
he's on the Xbox.
He's on
One.
the Xbox One
that's
instead.
in a few hours.
Video games have gone Barenthal crazy,
and so have I. Okay, I guess do a campaign trailer, huh?
That looks good.
Oh, this game has a campaign. I forgot.
Yes. And then some sort of third mode.
Have they not gotten really into it?
I don't know. I've heard
just
like
that gun game or like 2v2 thing.
No. It's like a Spec Ops big multiplayer. Like I've heard it described a zillion different ways.
Because of this poison, my people have known something worse than war.
Help us track him.
If you stay, we can help you. But if you stay, you fight.
Yelling out to him.
He said, then let's fight.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't realize.
In the local language.
My country have no regard for human life.
What about humanity? .game.
Any further...
This is the URL for this should just be gun.game.
We're breaking through now. We need a new extraction point first.
Humanity.pizza.
Join us.
Wait, can we get video.game?
No, I bet not.
We are all killers here.
But I also bet it's squatted on for $1 bazillion.
Yeah.
By whoever owns all of .game.
The Kremlin has suspended all deconfliction channels and chemical...
How do top level domains work? Or is that a conversation?
It's a larger conversation than there's a
like a
governing body that determines that. But like sometimes they will all get sold to one company, so one company will determine, or one country in a lot of cases. But like
McDonald's.
Well, like Amazon, like Amazon was trying to buy all of Amazon.
What about the Amazon?
That was the part where it was like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah. And like the Wonder Woman movie website.
Exactly.
If you can't identify the target,
shoot him anyway.
You are the target.
Oh shit. Whoa. Captain Price, you didn't. Captain Price, you did. Okay, here we go. Survival mode. Yeah.
Play it first on PS4.
Oh, huh.
That's extra weird. That makes the white phosphorus stuff extra weird that they have a mode called Spec Ops.
Yeah. Well, so Spec Ops was something they had back in the day that was like an amazing little co-op mode.
Okay.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare lands on PS4 this October. Now,
I didn't realize that was going to be a play it first sort of thing.
Yay!
What is this? New from
this is
Wadham.
Wadham. Hardly know him. I played this at E3, and Keita Takahashi told me, "I know who you are. You're bad at my game."
Was he wrong?
No.
Okay.
All right. I mean, it was a little buggy. Like I think he was like making light of like there was a bug, and
And then did you square up with him?
Yeah.
I cubed up with him.
Whoa. All right.
For those of you who are not watching, there was a cube on the screen, so that made my joke extremely funny.
No, and for those of you listening at home, it did not make his joke extremely funny.
Jeff is winking.
I am not winking. I was blinking.
Is this a Stranding game?
This might just be a Strand.
Wow,
is
you
the
just put
original Strand game.
That toilet was very proactive.
Look,
Yeah.
we're bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
It is a Stranding game.
I got a quote from Jim Ryan about that story, about the suspend mode thing, if you want it.
Yeah, please.
I am also very pleased to announce the next generation PlayStation console will include the possibility to suspend gameplay with much lower power consumption than PS4, which we estimate can be achieved at around half a watt. If just 1 million users enable this feature, it would save equivalent to the average electricity use of 1,000 U.S. homes.
Well, I know which console I'm backing now.
Wow. No, it's, like I said, Microsoft put out something similar about like a carbon footprint based on its server farms and, and a lot of that stuff too. And that's something that, there's always a lot of talk about, like conflict minerals and recycling of minerals going into making the devices. I don't know if you played Call of Duty Black Ops 3, a game about, Black Ops 2, a game about conflict minerals.
It's kind of weird because this the whole suspend mode thing wasn't really a thing in previous consoles as much as it is now. So it's like, hey, we're offsetting this terrible thing that we just rolled out a couple of years ago. Our bad.
Well, there's always a lot of talk about just like power draw of electronics just to be plugged in, even if they're not on, which is always like a frustrating thing. But oh wow, Wadham out December.
Oh, good.
Wadham's going to come out apparently.
Wadham, yeah.
Whimsical world of
I'll believe it when I see it.
This December. Okay.
I like that the automatic Ghost captions called it "What Tom."
First look.
Techland.
Oh, finally a Piccolo game. I know they're doing the Kakarot game, but
it's just it's a driving game.
It's a father simulator.
Yeah, it actually uses a microphone. You just say Piccolo into it, and doors open. That's it. So kind of a smaller looking, tribal maybe looking game from Techland.
Oh, he's in heaven.
Again, like the end of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right. God damn it.
They just burn his body and...
He's at the screen where the Pixar lamp usually jumps around.
Watch out, man.
Another thing that people are saying might turn up on one of these streams today, whether it's this Sony stream here or perhaps the Xbox stream later, is WB Games Montreal has been teasing a Batman game.
Oh, yeah.
For
a GIF yesterday.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of talk about Capture the Night, KNIGHT. And some references to the Court of Owls, which is a secret society referenced in the comics.
That's like, they're the thing that's got me interested to try and read Batman. Honestly, it sounds like a really cool.
Pretty interesting.
There's a bunch of good shit.
Yeah. WB Games Montreal made that. That's not Rocksteady. They're the team that made that other Batman game that people were not huge on.
Which one was it called?
Origins.
Yeah.
And so if this comes to pass and WB Games Montreal is running a Batman game, that then stands to reason that Rocksteady is definitely not doing a Batman game, which has been rumored over and over again for years that they were doing, whether it was some larger DC thing or
Superman
Golden Age Superman thing or Silver, whatever, some age that is not the current age. Arise, a simple story. That's Techland's game.
Arise is coming soon to PS4.
Rockstar.
Now let's see what Rockstar Games has coming to PlayStation VR.
I'm good.
Oh, did that LA Noire thing not come to PlayStation VR yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Wife ran out, that you followed her and come back.
Okay. They're going to put that out on PSVR. I thought they already had.
I swear they already did.
But she went out.
Just reminding you.
After her, she jumped in a car in the corner.
I was not a big LA Noire fan.
Is it because you couldn't find and run over Dan in it?
Yeah.
That was the only...
Okay, yeah, this has been out on Steam for a while, and Rift.
Really?
Yes.
Said she wanted to serve me papers.
Came out on Steam December 15th, 2017.
Oh, wow.
Out now!
Out now.
Yeah! Oh, well, sure.
Yeah, it is. It has been out now. It was out last week, too.
Good news is, LA Noire, the VR case files, is available at the PlayStation Store today.
That is the good news. Thank you.
Taste of what's coming for PlayStation
Just
VR
a
players.
taste.
I found my PlayStation
Sizzle
VR.
reel! Where?
I put it on a shelf that had then been blocked by some other stuff.
What? Was that Space
Space
Channel?
Space Channel
5.
VR. They announced that a while back.
Gorn.
Gorn's good.
Gorn's the most fun I've had in VR.
It's very gornographic.
When's Gorn coming out, though? That's what I want to know.
Well, keep your eyes peeled on this
I'm
demonstration, Jason.
Wait,
I was gonna say, is Stardust Odyssey like a Super Stardust, like a VR game from the makers of Super Stardust, or didn't quite look like that? All right, after the fall.
There she is. Ooh la la.
What's the full name of that? Space Channel 5 VR Kinda Funky News Flash. Autumn release.
We've got
Kinda Funky News Flash. All right.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Update on Medieval. Here's your chance to get your
Is
hands
that how
on
you-
the demo of the
Medieval, yeah.
Yeah.
It's launching today on the PlayStation Store.
Demo today.
Okay.
I'll say it again, man. I don't understand why they would remake Medieval. It was fine. It was okay.
It's all right.
But not.
It's like, here's our Voodoo Vince remake.
They did that.
What?
They did that. That happened.
Why
you
am I
can
not
You can play
playing it
Voodoo
right
Vince on the
now?
Xbox One right now.
What about Dr. Muto?
Not yet. Sadly, Dr. Muto has not happened. Freaky Flyers also.
Thanks.
Like that era of Midway. No Blinks the Time Cat.
It is
the
on
Time
the backwards
Sweeper, sorry.
compatibility, though.
Yeah.
Time Cat.
Did they really remake Voodoo Vince?
Yes, but I want to say it was like the original dev. Like Microsoft wasn't necessarily directly involved, even though they published the game originally.
But they were super happy about it.
But like, yes.
Phil Spencer had a Voodoo Vince.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Voodoo Vince remastered.
Voodoo Vince was better than.
A legendary series.
I remember liking
magazine
it more.
ads led it to.
Yes, I remember liking it more than some might seem. Like a fucking super slick, stylish trailer for a Civ game is pretty funny.
I kind of want to try that new Battle Royale.
Civ 6, sure.
mode.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like you're all trying to be not the last person off the planet or something. Like there's a alien apocalypse or something.
Oh.
Or a natural disaster or something.
Oh. Internet's down now. No
Yeah,
more
buffering.
of that. And then my last news story. Fortnite.
Nope.
You heard of it?
Once or twice.
Yeah, they got a Batman thing now.
Yeah. They are adding skill-based matchmaking.
Wait, there hasn't been?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
As well as bots. So
there's nicer ways to say that I'm coming back to playing Fortnite than
shut up.
to say they're adding bots.
You're so default. No, they're adding bots. So players at the lower end of the skill level, new players will be more likely to encounter bots.
Hey, I'm interested in that.
It's our time, Ben.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Is launching this November. We've got something
I
very
don't want to
cool
watch.
show you.
This is just going to be the rest of this video is just Sam pissing, isn't it?
Humanity won't survive.
Is that his last name?
Sam pissing.
Yeah.
Humanity.game won't survive.
What is he doing to that baby?
Those snakes were made from my sperm.
Whoa.
Okay. Custom Death Stranding, Xbox, or
the controller is the color of the BB, and then it's a white console
PP.
with the handprints on it.
The controller is the color of PP, not BB.
Limited edition PS4.
If your PP looks like that, you need to drink more water.
Starting November 8th.
I'll tell you what.
Now
I need to drink more water.
After party. Do you think you can beat Satan in a drink?
After party. We talked to
Hell basically runs itself now.
Sean Frankel and some of the folks. Nice School Studios. All that stuff.
50 Cent Blood on the Sand?
Yes. This is the spiritual successor to 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
People typically
it's about drinking your way out of hell.
50 Cent Blood Under the Sand.
Yeah.
morons I keep hearing about. Milo and Lola. They're friends, they're home.
I believe that's interesting because I believe that the pre-announce or the list of stuff that Microsoft says is going to be in their thing, I think After Party is going to be in that as well.
But then they take a cab ride from Sam.
Thought I read that on GameSpot.com.
.game.
Like I didn't already have
Which is a website.
I'd like to know.
Is out party one word? It said it's time to out party Satan.
Not hyphenated? I would hyphenate that.
Yeah.
I told them to outdrink Hell's monarchs first. You know, my psycho relatives.
What do you think they drink in hell?
Sam's
piss. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I was right there with that.
You didn't want to spoil it for you.
You also chase that with Sam's piss.
You chase that with his weaponized blood.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He gets his bathwater off eBay.
I heard he didn't actually. I did a DNA test and he wasn't even actually in the bath.
Oh my! What the?
Being developed by the talented team at Night School Studio, and it's coming soon to PS4.
What else?
Coming soon. We've got a sneak.
What else?
Keep it going.
PlayStation Plus lineup. Batter up.
PlayStation Plus.
Clue.
Snorefest.
Bases ball.
Free games.
Is this the Always Sunny song?
Guys, the Giants are doing very well this season.
Yeah?
Surprisingly.
Huh.
Crazy.
Who?
I think it's because...
I'm so far removed. Like, who are... I got a couple of questions for you.
Who are these
Who are the
Giants?
good Giants?
Pablo Sandoval.
Okay.
He's come back.
All right, great.
Pretty much the same people.
Okay, here's my follow-up question.
Yes.
Do the Warriors really play in San Francisco now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Chase Stadium.
Okay, 'cause I was watching wrestling last night, and they were like, "We're at the Chase Arena in San Francisco." I'm like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's like a block away
and
from where the Giants play.
And I looked it up, and it was like one Warriors street. I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, dog.
I'd live on Warrior Street.
I'd be scared to come out and play.
MLB The Show 19
You just watch
will
them
be
play.
Free for PlayStation Plus members
Okay.
starting in October.
I don't want to.
But wait,
Basketball's
today
fun,
we can
though.
also share that The Last of Us Remastered is.
I'm a
also
Kings fan now,
PlayStation Plus members starting
Jan.
in
You could still
It's a
watch
good
the
time.
Kings play.
MLB The Show 19.
Yeah, I'll watch the Kings play. I
Our
don't have Warriors go watch the Warriors play money.
upcoming PS4 game.
Sticking with the Pistons. They were good in NBA Jam. Isaiah Thomas never did me wrong.
Okay.
Well-
Solid pick.
How would you rate our kiss from last night?
And then this is that Last of Us Part 2. Brad is ostensibly seeing this video game right now.
He could be playing it right now.
Could be
this
playing
could be
it.
Brad playing.
it. Right, yeah, I think this is him playing.
Yeah,
Brad
you can
cut
tell.
this trailer together.
Yeah. To put him to work when he got down there.
Run your routes. Mark your logbooks.
Wait, is this Red Dead DLC?
Yeah.
Into anything you can handle.
Horses.
Asbestos gets really bad.
Oh, these mold spores. It's just a mountain of Fallout helmets down there. Last news story.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, last news story here.
Yeah.
Ben brought this. I looked at this and said, "Oh, maybe not."
Right.
After reading the details, and then Ben said, "I've got a news story for today." It's like it's the Fallout thing, isn't it? He's like,
Yeah. I mean, so okay. If we want to back up, there was I'm trying to find the exact product, but there was a Fallout 76 inspired
Power armor helmet.
Power armor helmet. Here it is. It's called the Power Armor Collectible Helmet product. It's got the T51B Power Armor helmet. It's got that like red and white paint scheme that I guess is a Fallout 76 style power armor, not the like silvery kind of from 3 and 4. And this was for sale through GameStop in conjunction with the game. So this wasn't like a pre-order bonus or
it was like a separate thing. Like, hey, we got Funko Pops shaped like Vault assholes, and then we also have this helmet.
Here's Vault Boy as a Funko Pop, and here's a power
They
helmet.
totally did that, didn't they? They must have.
And so
they've done everything.
this power helmet, a thing with like breathing tubes on it, a thing that ostensibly in the game you have to imagine is designed so you can breathe in hazardous environments. It's apparently a mold and spore breeding grounds. They say that it's a one size.
Hey, look at that old guy.
fit all helmet. Consumers should immediately stop using the recalled collectible items and contact GameStop for a full return and refund. GameStop is contacting all known purchasers directly. So again, just in case you forgot that Fallout 76 has had maybe one of those most unfortunate merchandising post-launch runs of a video game
Here's
ever.
like one more thing, just one little more tag on it. Just like one little more tag on the end of their video here with The Last of Us. They showed a little Joel there and announced a date, February 21st.
Just a smooch on the forehead while they tuck Fallout 76 away to die.
Yeah.
You know, it's really quite something. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job, Fallout 76. Literally poisoning people.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That was the state of play.
And that's the state of play. All right. That seemed somewhat better than the previous ones they've done.
Help, the stream ended and now everything is a recommended video of somebody making the YouTube face.
Make it stop.
I gotta work on my YouTube face. We gotta get better YouTube faces.
All right.
All right. And that leads us to
shit.
Emails.
Oh shit.
No, Jeff.
Oh shit.
They're not emails.
Wait, what? No, we're playing the emails
This
music.
week they are emails.
That's right.
Ben.
Hey, bombcast at giantbomb.com is where you send your B-mails or emails.
But what if I have an email that I want to send to Ben?
Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
Okay.
We'll reach, it reaches deep into the heart of this establishment.
That's where I want to go.
I thought we were taking another break.
If you
I
need
don't have the emails
if you need
open.
a break, we could take a quick break. Do people need a break?
Or you could just stall.
Anyway, all right. I don't know. That Sony stuff looked okay.
It was nice getting another look at Joel.
Mm-hmm.
He's back.
Sure. Or perhaps. Or maybe he's a ghost, like, in the context, who can say?
And it's all in her mind because of the fungus.
Yeah, mind fungus. Joel was never really there.
That could be.
Shit.
Haley Joel can see. There's a whole thing. There's a whole thing.
If you see red,
you be dead.
you'd be dead.
Yeah. That's exactly how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Speaking about Red Dead, there were some horses.
Yeah, definitely some horses.
Yeah.
Definitely
There's not a lot of horses.
Yeah.
Do you think with
you big Last of Us fan, Jan?
I played it with my lady friend watching it, but then she fell asleep, so I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Uncharted, but Last of Us kind of was too slow for me.
Not a big fan. So
the multiplayer though, I really enjoyed.
There were neat ideas in the multiplayer, for sure. That whole like camp, like keep your survivors going stuff.
I didn't like that they named them after my friends.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Emails at giantbomb.podcast at emails.giantcom and
bombcast at giantbomb.com
/emails. Load them up in the chamber and send them over, and you've got a chance of being read on the show.
Your 6-gun full of emails.
Davis from Syracuse, New York, writes in and says, I was watching a YouTube playlist of funniest Giant Bomb videos. Thank you. When I came
I'm calling the police.
When I came across the binary domain quick look.
Okay. Yep.
While this game looked like an above-average third-person shooter, the voice commands in it seemed barely functional and felt tacked on, like a feature that didn't add too much to the experience.
Absolutely.
My question is, has voice recognition in video games ever really been good? It's always seemed like an interesting idea in theory, but never functioned consistently enough to rise past being a novelty.
Ask my seaman.
I will not.
Seaman.
Sorry.
Still won't.
SOCOM was pretty okay.
SOCOM was actually, you're right. Actually, SOCOM was mostly reliable, more so than most. There was that Konami game. Was it called Lifeline?
Oh,
where you were like ordering a woman around. Like, around a facility.
You like watched her through the CCTV.
That
stuff.
was busted.
That did not work.
That did not work real well. There was the Konami light gun for the NES that was like a helmet you put on and looked through a reticle, and then you just shouted fucking noise into a microphone.
Yeah.
You just went, "Bleh," and it would shoot. That was not great.
But it worked.
A lot of Nintendo DS games tried to use the mic on it, but you would just rub it to get the effect.
That's what they called rub rabbits. The Forza games with the ordering, using the voice navigation, saying "Hey, direct me to my next event." That stuff worked, but it was cumbersome enough that you just didn't need to use it.
Right.
SOCOM. That stuff was okay. It was a neat trick because you would hear them respond in the earpiece that you were wearing as opposed to through the TV, which at the time was pretty novel. Manhunt did that too. If you just put on the headset, Starkweather or whatever the fuck guy's name was, would talk you through that thing.
Creepy.
I
don't like talking to robots.
That's my answer to the first B-mail.
Thank you for answering my B-mails. Here's another one. This comes in from Azzy in Michigan. Hey all, I was watching a show and the main character was playing Metroid Zero Mission on the Game Boy Advance. It showed the gameplay from the game, but they just replaced all the sound effects. I've seen other TV shows do this as well. Is there a specific reason for this?
They didn't capture the audio?
Do you think it's that simple?
Yeah.
Because like sometimes, you know...
It was a TV show?
TV show.
A Japanese TV show?
They do not specify. But like you see this all the time with stuff like Breaking Bad had him playing Rage.
You mean like a fictional TV show?
Yes,
okay.
Sorry, a fictional TV show.
By law, they have to replace it with the sound effects from Pac-Man for the Atari 2600.
Is that
yeah, it's
totally true.
It's otherwise they will get arrested and thrown in jail if it doesn't go.
Why Pac-Man?
Because people have just been using it since then to denote a video game is being played in the background.
That's crazy.
So I've never noticed that.
It's there are episodes that you can't do that on television that use it. There's just like all the way through years past anyone would ever be playing Pac-Man like it was used. So it's
like the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, exactly.
What about stuff where you're like,
but they probably don't want to sync up. They probably don't want to have to sync up their captured gameplay with
just so
whatever
much work
else
for
and all
such
this
a
other stuff.
throwaway
It's just
thing.
like they just throw in whatever.
Okay, how do you get then like in Breaking Bad when he's playing Rage, but it's a railgun light gun shooter?
That was a mobile game.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, the railgun Rage game, the rail shooter Rage game was for phones, if I remember right.
Okay,
but they didn't build it like that.
Screen
yeah, I mean, it was like they just sold some It's a hot integration.
Yeah.
Product placement, but then they didn't really care about the same way there was a Doom arcade machine in Grosse Point Blank, was it?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, in a convenience store,
a gas station or whatever. Yeah,
that never existed. They just wanted to have Doom for whatever reason because Doom's a hot game.
Doom's a video game.
But they wrote the scene to just be like an arcade game, and then it somehow became Doom.
The video game.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games. Hey, Bombardillos. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
I haven't owned a Nintendo console in quite some time, but with Link's Awakening on the Switch Lite being out, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to get back into the good old Nintendo land. However, shortly after starting it, it felt like something was wrong. It took me some time to realize what felt off was the button layout on the Switch because, of course, Nintendo is still using the old Super Nintendo layout instead of the Xbox 360 one.
Yeah,
How did this happen? How did Microsoft completely change the default, quote-unquote, button layout within one console generation, even though Nintendo had established theirs years ago? I grew up with a Super Nintendo, and their A and B positions just feel wrong to me now. Do you think Nintendo will ever give up and switch? Do you think they should? Part of me feels like, hell no, they came up with this. It's everybody else who is wrong, even though it feels wrong on their end.
Well, what if I told you that PlayStation games in Japan use the Nintendo layout?
Right.
Wait, what does that mean?
The circle button is the button you hit to move forward through things.
Yeah.
And the X button goes back.
Yeah, that's even more complicated,
in Japan,
though.
In the US, X is go forward. And we talked about this last week before or something, when we were talking about the cross name of the button and all that other bullshit.
Yep. But isn't it because, in Japanese you read right to left? And that's why it's A, B, X, Y.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then here.
That probably is actually exactly the answer now that you mentioned.
That's what I'm guessing.
But so why does... So I think this person has a good point.
And also, Microsoft did not change it. They adapted the Dreamcast layout.
Did Dreamcast have lettered buttons?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so
You
then
can barely see them.
why like I agree with them that A should be the bottom button, B should be the rightmost button. Like how
but
did
also
that
like
happen?
the bottom button should be advance and the right button should be back.
Yes,
as how it is on US PlayStation games and Xbox games.
When we were playing God Hand, it was very much just like we would
Completely
always
mix this up.
like kick the lady when we're trying to talk to her just because you like think that the
well, that's the thing is like some games would be inconsistent with stuff where like Kojima's games, generally speaking, like the Metal Gear games have always adhered to the Japanese PlayStation button layout of circle being advance and X being back, and it just is what it is. And everyone's got their established standards, and I think everyone is pretty dug in on that stuff now. And Sony is the only one that tries to have it both ways. And I think that is weird too. There's a while there that I was playing enough like imported PlayStation games though that I got
rewire yourself.
I got really good at switching back and forth. But now I don't play a ton of Switch games, and so it feels awkward there now in a way that it used to not.
Yep. But I'll go back and forth. Like if I'm playing a bunch of Switch stuff, like I'll wire myself.
Yeah.
But I'm hardwired to a certain degree. But yeah, it messes me up a lot.
All right, we're entering the food block.
Oh, here we go.
Fantastic.
Gentlemen,
I love a nice block of food.
Well, then tell me this. Are chicken tenders just fancy chicken nuggets, or do they exist in a category of their own?
They're like a strip. Tenders are strips, right? That's a chicken strip.
I'll go with that.
Really the only distinction for you between a nug and a tender is length?
Yeah. But also, like,
what about girth?
What about like crispiness factor?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a tender by nature has to be a little more crunchy than a nugget.
I think there's too much variance across the board with that stuff to guarantee it. You could be microwaving those tenders and they're not going to be crispy. You know, like you can get soggy ass tenders anywhere. Who the fuck has time to fucking heat up an oven, man? Yeah, exactly. If I'm making chicken tenders at home, it's already a desperate situation.
That's the difference. I'm never making chicken tenders at home.
Yeah,
I'm like I'm thinking solely in like a fast food context. Because like a nugget can just be like a sponge.
Well, usually isn't a strip or a tender, isn't that meant to be like it's a contiguous piece of meat, whereas nuggets are chopped the fuck up and reconstituted into chicken whatever shape they want. Yeah.
Okay.
But I still think that a chicken tender has more girth than a chicken. No, wait, I take that back. I think a chicken strip actually has more girth. It's thicker than a chicken tender. Yeah.
I think you're getting hung up on branding because Burger King uses chicken tenders as their term, right?
Right.
Yes. And there's not a lot of girth there compared to what you would think of as a traditional chicken strip.
And then they got the chicken fries, which even further.
Chicken fries are garbage.
We'll never agree with that.
Yeah.
Staying on a chicken kick, we got some hot insider info from Buffalo Wild Wings employees.
Oh, okay.
The captain
writes in, the captain from Chaska, Minnesota writes in and says,
"Oh, Captain, my captain.
In relation to last week's discussion that brought up Buffalo Wild Wings and how their wings can be too dry, I have some insider knowledge. Basically, I'm going to sum up a long email here. A snack size gets 1 pump of sauce. Small size gets 2. Medium size gets 3. Large size gets 4. If you order extra sauce, it will double the amount of sauce that locations provide, but most will charge for this. If you order your wings wet, they add 1 extra pump with no additional cost and without getting the charge.
Wet. Okay.
So you want those wet wings. When you walk into a Buffalo Wild Wings, tell them, give me the wettest, moistest, not extra, Buffalo, but just the wettest wings you've got.
Wet and wild wings.
It should add another W.
Yeah.
It should be the BWWW. F.
GF.
Yeah. They that sounds like sort of like the weird Taco Bell trick that used to exist where you would order like an item that would normally come with beef, and if you ordered chicken, they would charge you a price to replace the beef with chicken. But if you ordered easy chicken, like you don't want full, you want a little bit of chicken, you know? If you ordered easy chicken, you would get chicken. You might not get quite as much chicken, but generally they're probably just going to put it on there, whatever.
Yeah.
And you could get that for no additional cost. You would get that for the beef price.
That probably ended when somebody asked for easy chicken and then they opened up and just a package of hard drugs inside.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone walked in, asked for easy chicken, and then there's like, all right, here you go. Yeah. It's all the heroin we keep here.
All the heroin from corporate.
Yeah.
All right. And just to top things off from the world of food to another world of food. I don't know what I'm saying. Hey, this comes in from Nathan in Olympia, Washington. What is your go-to sushi roll?
Lion King.
What's a Lion King roll?
Lion King. I forget what's in it, but then it reminds me of a burrito because it's wrapped in foil and heated.
Wrapped in foil.
Oh, okay. So early college for me, consisted of going to the shitty sushi place in San Mateo called Old Town Sushi. And if you like look on their Yelp page, it's called like the number 1 roll. And it's basically, if I remember it correctly, it's a California roll with maybe some shrimp tempura in the inside, but with a literal mountain of imitation crab meat stacked on top of it with some sriracha on it. And boy, howdy, was that like fed everyone in college. If you went in like San Francisco, Daly City, San Mateo, you went there. That shit was wild. The old man that ran the place was cool. Oh, God. Too much imitation crab.
Too much.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of imitation crab.
I don't eat a ton of sushi.
Yeah, I don't. I will, and I don't. I'm not
there.
I'm not well versed enough in it to answer the question. Like I've eat sushi from time to time, but usually I'll go and get chicken and then like a little bit of sushi on the side or something. You know,
you'll get the chicken tenders or the strips.
Exactly. I'll order both. I'll get tenders and strips. I'm not fucking around.
I like
teriyaki. You know, of course.
I like a spicy. I like a spicy roll. Something with like a jalapeno or a spicy aioli or something. Jan, you have a really big smile on your face.
You're just happy about.
I'm just thinking about.
You're thinking about sushi,
omakase, and then it's. We should not deal with fucking raw fish and our coworkers.
No,
right? We shouldn't deal with raw fish, but we should put other things in a sushi roll. I also like those sushi rolls that have the like little slices of lemon on top. Really
49er rolls.
Yeah, that stuff is. Duh.
Do they sell 49er rolls everywhere, or is that just like because we're in range of the fucking? Is it like do you go somewhere and it's like you get a Bears
roll?
Yeah.
You get the Raiders roll.
I do not want the Raiders roll, especially in Vegas.
Just yells at you.
You have to dress up in guar makeup to eat it. This email comes
You're in luck because I don't go to a sushi restaurant unless I'm in my guar shit.
Peter from Burbank writes in and says, "Hey, Bomb Crew. In regards to the talk of Scooby-Doo guest stars from 2 weeks ago's UPF, if you could pick a video game character to hang out with Mystery Inc. in their own crossover special, who would it be and what mystery would they solve?" And there's a fun little story here I'll tell at the end.
Oh, boy.
So you want somebody... The
Professor Layton. I want someone who's going to try to out mystery them, and then he's going to be like consternated by their fucking stoned-ass weird attitude. Like...
None of you are even trying to arrange
look at these matchsticks. Assholes.
I was going to say, you can't get somebody who knows anything about mysteries because they'd immediately be like, oh, it's the dude who runs this theater that we're in.
Yeah.
Because they're all pretty easy. Yeah.
But that'd be good too, because then the gang would be like, okay, all right, we got to run this down. Like,
they keep pulling masks
Batman
off
is
over and
a
over.
detective, and those episodes were fine.
Yeah, that's true. How did Batman not figure that shit out sooner?
He's the world's greatest detective. He probably did.
He's just like letting them have their fun.
Yeah.
He's, they're on the job training. I would pick Batman again because he's in a video game.
I'm going to say
Cheap answer, but
Barry from Resident Evil.
Just going to take a shot in the dark, not really knowing too much about the character, but Die Hard Man.
He's already wearing a mask.
Yeah. He is partners with the crew, but also did the crimes.
They go on to say in this email they used to work in animation and had a friend as a member from the member of the production team for the new Scooby-Doo and Guess Who series that just premiered on Boomerang.
Cool.
It's a kind of a revival of those old crossover specials. They said guests at that point had included Wanda Sykes, Steve Urkel, and Ricky Gervais.
Holy shit. Okay.
And they had a big meeting that was like, all right, pie in the sky, everyone just write down who you think would be good for the Scooby-Doo crossover.
Urkel!
Apparently Urkel flies, but when their friend said Hatsune Miku, the producer got really mad and said that Hatsune Miku is not popular enough in America and never will be. Even though Wanda Sykes...
Well, now she never will be.
I pulled up the Google trend for Wanda Sykes and... first I pulled up the Google trends for Scooby-Doo and Hatsune Miku.
Which it was before the show.
Yeah.
I just suggested this, assuming that at some point the lines had crossed and Hatsune Miku would be way
Miku,
more popular.
Sells, sold out concerts all around the world, but fucking Scooby motherfucking Doo, she didn't come close to that guy. Scooby-Doo's got name recognition around the planet.
Very high Q score.
Very high Q score.
Did they give a list of other people in those crossovers?
That's all we have so far.
Was Ricky Gervais literally on an episode?
I believe that is the case.
Has Dave Coulier been on one?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Is the Gervais episode just him, just like, Jesus did it, or, just like.
Let me just show you the cartoon Ricky Gervais, and his eyebrow placement will answer that question for you.
Oh, he looks smarmy.
Scooby-Doo and the Guess Who gang. There's also been Kathy Griffin, Penn and Teller, Sia.
What?
Weird Al.
Weird.
Okay. Jim Gaffigan.
Okay.
And John DiMaggio as Abraham Lincoln.
Well, if anyone's going to play Lincoln.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
These all sound great.
Yeah, these all sound like I kind of want to watch what the 2019 Urkel and Scooby-Doo crossover.
Wow.
What if it wasn't Jaleel White?
Fuck.
No, it has to be.
But what if it wasn't? What if it was Stefan?
Okay. Oh, okay. It was Jaleel White as both Urkel and Urkel Pot.
I feel like that's like these list of guests, like, well, whatever. I guess they know the age of people that would be likely to watch an episode of Scooby-Doo in this day and age are probably of an age where like, oh yeah, one sec, yeah, of course.
Kenan Thompson.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kate Micucci voices Velma.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next email is titled "Too many SNES games missing."
Sorry, what was that?
Too many SNES games missing. This comes in from Ryan S., who says, Nintendo adding the Super Nintendo games to the Switch is exciting, but I can't help feel let down knowing that there is a good chance a good chunk of the SNES will never show up because they are on collections for the Switch. That means games like no Castlevania, no Street Fighter, no Contra, and no Mega Man. Those are four huge series I can think of right off the bat that will never show up, and it sucks.
Maybe Mega Man Soccer will make it. The only good 16-bit Mega Man game.
Okay, that's Mega Man X2 is great.
What's that?
Mega Man 7 is a hidden gem.
Nobody was hiding that.
Man, it sucks. I played Mega Man 7 again recently, and it's not good.
You're right, it sucks.
It's not good.
Right.
I loved that game.
Mega Man Soccer is good though.
That's
Mega
cool.
Man Soccer is good. But there's already a soccer game in that collection now,
Yeah,
I haven't played it. I don't know if it's a good soccer game.
It's not Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so between like this and the news that they're not doing monthly releases like they did with the NES one, what do you think the future for like the Super Nintendo Super Nintendo for Nintendo Switch online service is?
I think that they'll add stuff around the edges and they'll add stuff, but like they launched with like a lot of the big franchises, right? Or a lot of the big games that you expect to.
Yeah, it's like a mix of the big games and the stuff that they could get for dirt cheap.
Yeah, the stuff that's just like, I don't know, man, Brawl Brothers. I guess. Like,
no hacked ROMs though. Do you know what I mean? Like none of the altered ROMs?
That stuff would usually roll out later.
Yeah.
So maybe in the next update, they'll be like, oh, now we have a Link to the Past update where you can do this. And, so that stuff might be coming after the fact.
There's your future.
Yeah.
Your dark future.
I don't know. I think that, you have a lot of cases where you'd have like some licensed games that wouldn't show up. And you would have cases like that where, some of those games are available separately on collections, where maybe if those collections get old enough, then a company like Capcom comes back and says like, yeah, sure, put Street Fighter on your thing and give us a little bit more money. We're done selling this other thing. It doesn't mean they won't ever come, but it means that, it may be way after the fact. I don't know. I look at the list and go like, okay, you've hit most of the like really big names. And
what are a couple standouts for you that you would just love to see in there?
Super Smash TV.
Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah,
like I like that game a lot.
I'd like Super Mario RPG in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the first party stuff should eventually make its way in there.
Evo Search for Eden, obviously, needs to show up.
Yeah, well, yes, actually.
I would love, more of those weird kind of, the Super Nintendo is a console that's been explored to death, but there's still hidden gems on there. Yeah. There's still, like, Demon's Crest, I was really excited to see on there, because that's one of those, like...
They should put Gradius 3 on there, and then also put the Gradius 3 SA1 hack on there that removes all the slowdown.
They should put that version of Street Fighter Alpha 2 on there. That was garbage.
Yeah, they totally should.
I can say it's an interesting curiosity.
It is.
In terms of like, here's this super late SNES release of a game you would never have thought would have been on the SNES.
Yeah, like
and it is, but
technical
weird.
marvel,
yeah, like
but
it's Yes, Uninvincible says SimCity. Yeah, that SimCity SNES game is great. That was a great game. Mario Paint. I would love to see Mario Paint.
Mario Paint,
with like touch support for the mouse,
that
maybe.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, you could probably do it.
Cool as hell.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a wide library of like a ton of third-party games that everyone's going to have their own favorites and stuff. But yeah, it's weird. Those services are so strange. Like it's hard to. And I'm just not a big user of them because there are so many other ways to play a lot of those games that it's not. I don't need another way to play Super Mario World.
But I need a way to play Pocky and Rocky.
Yeah, if I traveled with my Switch more often, then that would make a little more sense. I guess.
That's where I'm at.
But I just don't. So
it's a really wonderful thing to have there as like a palate cleanser. If I can just like I'm on the train and I don't want to play another level in Fire Emblem, so I'll just hop over and be like, I don't know, let's play a little more Super Metroid. And just go from there. And that's cool. It's a novelty. All right, next email. It's me choosing the emails because this one's about fighting games. Hey, Bamba. Terry is in Smash. Geese is in Tekken. How Maru is in Soul Calibur. SNK is ripe for crossovers. Instead of Namco Bandai making Tekken versus Street Fighter, what if they made Tekken Tag Tournament 3 and it's Tekken characters versus SNK characters? That would be pretty great. The reason that this email stuck out to me is the marquee tag series that we have right now is only like the only one out there really is Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yep.
And that is a game that is just going to, by the nature of it, be completely inaccessible for a large amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, Jeff, you're not like the biggest fan of the tags games because like the Marvel versus games, like the newer ones,
I don't much care for the versus games.
But like if we had a more paired
like all that
back,
air combo shit, it's just like I don't want to do that.
It's like one of those. It's like a combo game. But like, what if we had a versus crossover game that was more grounded like a Tekken, like easy to pick up, like Tekken 7, where anyone can jump into it and be like, this arm's a punch, this arm's a punch, this leg's a kick, this leg's a kick.
I think where that, it's weird because I think that Namco has done really well at adapting like 2D fighting game characters into Tekken 7. Like Akuma did. Akuma's really interesting. Geese is really good.
They did the same for Smash too. They incorporated, those. I mean, like
for what they did in terms of just like I like the idea of like, of course you can push a button to do the move because this is Smash Brothers. A game for babies, we can establish. But also you can do the motions to do it for real.
Yeah.
And you get a slight damage bonus. I think that's a fun way to do that.
Sure.
For Smash. I don't know that I want a full game of characters adapted into the Tekken style, like projectile-based characters adapted into the Tekken style. I don't know that I want a full roster of that. Like it's fun as a novelty, as like here's a handful of characters that can do it. In Tekken 7, but I don't know that I would necessarily want to base a full game around that.
Right.
I don't know. It might work fine, but I
think it would work fine.
It'd probably be fine. Yeah.
It works fine as is. Like, Kuma's throwing fireballs. You can just simply dodge them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It works. It's fine.
Yeah. Sidestep that shit.
Yeah.
The shit that Chun-Li should have learned 9 games ago.
Right.
Just step the other way.
So
that'd be a hell of a roster to draw from.
Right,
That'd be great.
Pretty cool. My question then to you is like, what do you think the best utilization of SNK characters could be, other than just like, here's a guy in another game? Like, would you like to see it just like, here's another? I mean, they're doing another King of Fighters. They did another Samurai Showdown.
Right. I think that they will eventually do a Mark of the Wolves sequel. They've talked enough about like wanting to do Mark of the Wolves 2. That'll eventually happen. I don't know if it ever got like announced, but they talk about it enough in terms of just like, oh yes, like on the heels of like Mark of the Wolves 1, I think coming to PS4, even they reiterated it there, saying like, oh, we want to make more new games, including like I think it was like the original creator going like, of course I want to make another one.
Totally.
They need to let me or whatever it was, but
they just got to sell enough joysticks.
Right. Yeah, the hidden 21st game will be Mark of the Wolves 2.
Here's some Mark of the Wolves 2 character sprites from a canceled version of that game.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Butt.
Boot.
Butte.
I don't know, man. I don't really like the more recent King of Fighters games.
No,
I think that they.
No, I like the 2D aspects of the more recent ones, but not the most recent one.
Yeah. They look kind of grungy.
Yeah,
13 was incredible. 14 is whatever.
So I don't know what I would do with that library of games now, other than what they're doing, which is like anyone who wants to put it out anywhere, be it through Hamster or whatever else, like that stuff's just coming. Like they were selling the Hamster versions of some games that would be available in different forms. It was like it got complicated eventually. So I don't know. I think you could put them into other games as like versus characters or as guest characters and stuff like that. I think that'd be fun. I would still like to see more of SNK going the other way and pulling characters into their world,
right?
A la SVC Chaos, because that was such a weird fucking game. Or their renditions of the Street Fighter characters were so bizarre, but like in a really appealing, crazy way.
It's like almost it's like those early internet phenomena. It's like, here's what Homer Simpson would look like if he was a real guy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, here's Guile versus Mars people. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
And that really was the ultimate incarnation of Guile's hair.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
They got it right in a way that just Yeah, I mean, for me, it always just comes back to just like Capcom versus SNK 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a versus game that did not play like the versus games. It wasn't about launchers and all that sort of stuff.
It's just like you build a team.
Yeah.
You go fight.
Yeah. That's what I would really
pick a groove.
Like to see is, let's add 20 more
grooves. If you could add a new
to the
groove,
game.
what groove would it be?
I would spell it play more in grooves. Jeez. Yeah, you've got and all of Capcom instead of just CAP.
Okay,
you have a second C groove.
You have a second C. It's like a
secret C. Yeah, backwards C.
Secret
spell
C.
Capsule Computers. Just go all the way. Yeah, why not?
All right, one more email, and it's a simple one. Comes in from Chris in Indiana. I just realized I've mostly played Tetris during the winter months for no reason other than the fact that I remember playing more Tetris during cold weather months versus warm weather months. My question is, do you consider Tetris a warm weather game or a cold weather game? I don't know why, but I instantly agreed with this email, or like, yes, Tetris is a game I want to play when I want to warm myself up on the inside. It is a cup of cocoa with leaves falling out the window game for me. I don't want to be
Is it
playing
because
Tetris.
the bricks fall like leaves?
Ooh, that might have something to do with it. I mean, also like Tetris Effect to me was such a like cool, like the weather outside was like kind of spooky and the Tetris was so delightful.
Yeah.
For me, Tetris Effect is kind of a summer feeling game,
Really?
because of like some of the tiki themes, the desert.
Yeah.
OG Tetris though.
Oh yeah, and the ocean stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Chilling. Got a Mai Tai.
Huh.
The regular Tetris, kind of a winter game too. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, something about Tetris says it's dark outside.
Is it because it's Russian?
Oh, maybe.
Ooh.
Do you guys have any other like seasonal games, like games you would tie to an emotional bond to like a certain season or anything? Like I like playing, like obviously like spookier games around fall and stuff. Like
I think I've said this before, but I associate being sick with Dragon Age 2 because I was super sick when I played through that game. But like now when I think about it, I think about being really fucking ill.
I think that way with Devil May Cry 3.
It's not that game's fault. Really?
Having the flu and playing that game.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I...
That's also why I didn't finish Chrono Cross, was because I was too sick. But I hear that theme song now, and it's really good. But also, it's just like
makes you feel real bad.
Feels so good right now.
All right. Well, how are you? Is that it? Is that it for emails?
Those are your Well, they're not emails.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's been it for emails all along, but is that also the last B-mail?
That is the last B-mail.
All right. Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
We get the emails now?
No. Sorry.
Oh.
We get all the A-mails come into the after show now.
Okay, gotcha.
Which you'll have to stay tuned for.
Oh.
If you're watching live, because we'll do that in a little bit here, and you can interact via the chat or our phone line. What is it? 707 exit flu. Just give it a call.
Give it a call. We encourage you, if it's 3 a.m. your time, give us a call.
And you're a little inebriated. Sure.
Hey, you don't have to be, but if you are.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah. Lubes up the conversation.
I don't want to.
If you're possessed by a ghost, call in.
If you're in line at a Jack in the Box, call in.
Yeah. These are all great scenarios. And we'll be back next week with more great scenarios here on the Giant Bombcast. See you then.